Fans are racing into the hog pen in Fayetteville, Arkansas for the final game of a 3-game set between Mississippi State and Arkansas on Mother's Day. So far, it's been a fun series paced by a couple of stars on both sides. Hudson White with a homer and 4 ribbies in Game 1. Dakota Jordan provided an answer for Mississippi State in Game 2 with a home run and 3 RBIs. Derek Jones and Todd Walker with you. Happy Mother's Day. And Todd, this series is very pivotal for both teams, each looking for an opportunity to host regionals.
Yeah, we know how important home field advantage is. Mississippi State has an RPI of 15. They've got 15 wins in the conference, so a win today against Arkansas would go a long way in terms of Mississippi State hosting a regional as a top 16 national seed in Starkville. And as for Arkansas, their resume is really good. The RPI is 4. They're definitely going to host a regional in Fayetteville. They're fighting to get in the top 8, which means they'd host a super regional also in Fayetteville. If they were to win that regional, they're in good shape.
For Mississippi State, one of the reasons why they've been so good as of late, the man they call Baby Bo, Dakota Jordan.
Yeah, our modern-day Bo Jackson from Jackson Academy. Gatorade Player of the Year in Mississippi 2 years ago, had a big freshman year last year. This year, he's just building off of that. OPS is north of 1 at 1.2. He's top 10 in the league in slugging percentage, top 4 in the league, and on-base percentage. Dakota Jordan in the middle of his lineup can just about do it all.
The Bulldogs have presented some problems to this Arkansas pitching staff so far. Of course, we talked about Jordan. Hunter Hines has been a part of it as well. And they will see Mason Molina on the side of Arkansas. And when you take a look at him, Todd, he struggled as of late, but take us through a profile.
Well, Mason's been good. I mean, the left-hander, 6'2", 230-pounder, making his 12th start. He's had 5 decisions, 3 wins. He's a tap erratic, 31 walks in 49 innings, but he's got a dominant changeup, especially to the right-handers. He's actually better against right-handed hitters than he is lefties as a left-handed pitcher. Last week against Kentucky, he went 3, gave up 3 hits, 3 walks, and 3 earned runs. They really need him to last in this game.
And it will be Bryce Chance opening it up against Molina. And the first pitch missing, off the mark for a ball, 1-0. And Chance ahead in the count here, 2-0. The sophomore out of Mississippi trying to set the table for a very tricky lineup to deal with. And he's ahead now, 3-0.
And this we talked about with Mason. He a lot of walks in that innings pitch total, and he's predominantly fastball change. That's about 90% of the pitches he'll throw out there. Again, the changeup's dirty, but he has got to be accurate, especially early in the count. This Mississippi lineup can really swing it.
The 3-1 is fouled away to run the count full at 3 balls and 2 strikes. Molina's last appearance was against Kentucky back on May 5th. Went 3 innings, gave up 3 hits. 2 of those 3 hits were home runs as a part of a 7-4 loss to the Wildcats. Full count off. Molina's last appearance was against Kentucky back on May 5th. Went 3 innings, gave up 3 hits. 2 of those 3 hits were home runs as a part of a 7-4 loss to the Wildcats. Full count off. Molina's last appearance. Molina's last appearance was against Kentucky back on May 5th. Went 3 innings, gave up 3 hits. 2 of those 3 hits were home runs as a part of a 7-4 loss to the Wildcats.
Full geared up for 92, and he pulls the string at 79. It's hard to hit.
Hit sharply into center field. That'll be a base hit off the bat of Mershon, and he is at first base with 1 down, and that will set it up for Dakota Jordan.
Well, you'd love to be facing this guy with nobody on base. Dakota Jordan has been just about everything for this Mississippi State lineup, hitting at 370, the double-digit home runs at 17, almost 60 RBIs for this kid.
The throw to hold Mershon. He gets back in time. So Jordan has 17 home runs this season. Coincidentally, we talked about Baby Bo. Bo Jackson's single season high in homers at Auburn was 17.
Well, you're looking at a true two-sport athlete out of high school. I mean, he was a stud football player, stud baseball player. Chris Lemonis talks about that football mentality he brought in last year, where you just can't run through a brick wall in baseball. Baseball's a lot like golf. You got to calm down, under control your heartbeat. It's controlled chaos, basically. And Dakota Jordan, he said, has learned that this year, and that's why the numbers are so high.
Fouled away, 0-2. Yesterday, Mississippi State jumped all over Arkansas, and one of the big reasons why, Dakota Jordan, who went deep against Arkansas.
And that's another reason that average is so good. He can go the other way with power. That was a bullet to right field, and anytime you can use the whole field, obviously you're going to be more consistent, and Dakota Jordan is as good as anybody with being able to have the ability to hit it out of the ballpark the other way.
Trying to hold Mershon. He has 22 stolen bags this season. That's the team high for Mississippi State. Is Jordan, he has been such a tremendous part of this team's success this season. 0-2. Called third strike on Jordan as Mershon took off and steals second base, but 2 down now.
Yeah, Dakota Jordan might have an argument there. That ball started up high and looked like it stayed up. Let's take a look. I mean, clearly above the belt. Yeah, that's a tough one. That being said, part of the two-strike approach is being able to expand the zone. Don't let that umpire call you out. Clearly, Dakota Jordan could do some damage even with a pitch like that.
So Mershon is at least able to get to second base in scoring position off the strikeout, as Hunter Hines behind here 0-1. Fouled away, 0-2. The junior had a big bases clearing double against Hagen Smith in that contest on Friday, where Arkansas eventually was able to grab the win over Mississippi State. 0-2. Off the plate, 1-2.
And a glaring miss in this Mississippi State lineup. They're without Connor Hyzak, which is one of the best hitters in the SEC. Has a back issue, has been out for this series. Big loss for the state Bulldogs.
Skied in the air towards left center. Giving chase is Peyton Holt and also Jason Jones, who makes the catch to close out the inning. Arkansas up next.
Don't just attend college, experience it. Learn by doing, because this matters. And this. Oh, you know that matters. This does too. At Mississippi State, you can make a global impact, starting right here at home. Our close-knit community offers you the opportunity to change the world. Mississippi State University, taking care of what matters.
When are sports more than sports? When your highlight reel opens the door to 4 years of higher education, 0 student loan debt, and NIL earning potential. When your stats include free room and board, nutrition and mental health support, plus medical care with extended coverage. And when your experiences, friendships, and development put you in the win column for life. For college athletes, sports just mean more.
When I was younger, I played make-believe. Now when I close my eyes, I just just fall asleep. Dream on, to infinity and far beyond. Maybe they'll take you fabulous places. Maybe you'll wake up right where you belong. But dream on.
The Razorbacks up in the bottom of the first inning as we get a look at their lineup. Peyton Stovall has been a big part of the offense this season, but in the series, he's 1 for 9. And for the Razorbacks, they will face Pico Khan, who has not been used a great deal by this Mississippi State club, Todd.
Well, he had a big outing midweek against Ole Miss, the Governor's Cup, where he went 4, didn't walk anybody with the 5 Ks. That's what gives them confidence to throw him out there in Fayetteville today. He's got a 3-pitch mix with a fastball, change, and slider. Only his 5th start last year, he was out with Tommy John, so just now coming back. But like Molina, his changeup's his best pitch, and he uses it a lot against the right-handers.
And this is going to be certainly one of the looming storylines you'd think for Mississippi State moving forward. Pitching depth and what they're able to get out of it as the first pitch is hit past the glove of Mershon at short. And Peyton Holt is a leadoff base runner for Arkansas to start the bottom of the first.
I always struggle with that as a leadoff hitter. You wonder, you're going to get a first pitch pass ball. Should you go deep in the count, let your teammates see what's going on, or do you just rip it? Peyton Holt made that decision easy. Base hit up the middle, first on base for Arkansas. Struggled a little bit offensively, but it's nice to get the leadoff guy on.
Stovall takes a look at that 90-mile-per-hour offering. 1-0. The junior out of Louisiana. Trying to get something started here.
Yeah, he's out of Houghton, Louisiana. That's right in my backyard here in Shreveport. I saw this kid in high school, and he was a man among boys. Can really swing it and obviously play defense as well.
Khan gets him the chase there. And he gets ahead of the count. 1 ball and 2 strikes. And as you talked about, Todd, certainly the length of the start here from Khan will be very interesting to see just how deep he can go into this game. 1-2 instead of first base toss to hold Peyton Holt.
Well, I don't know if State's overly worried. They got bullpen depth, but clearly they want Pico Khan to be able to go at least once through the lineup, and if he's doing well, they let him go twice, but I can't imagine you'd expect him much more than 4 or 5 innings today.
2-2. Stovall's lone hit, the 2-run homer. Another attempt to hold Holt. So game 1 of the series found Arkansas win 7-5 with a late rally in the bottom of the 8th inning. Mississippi State in game 1 loaded the bases with nobody out but couldn't get anything across as Holt fouls away, or excuse me, Stovall fouls away the next pitch. Then in game 2, Mississippi State jumped out 8-0 against Arkansas, eventually ended up winning 8-5. So Mississippi State has been a handful in this series so far as they try to grab a rare series win here at Baum Walker.
Well, for a team that leads the country in pitching staff and the talent that they have for Arkansas, they gave them a lot yesterday. That's why State had that 8-0 lead. A little unusual for Arkansas.
Holt scurries back again. Just 6 stolen bags on the year for Holt. But they don't want to get that running game started. On the side of Arkansas, they try to hold him again.
Yeah, and it's tough to steal with a lefty looking right at you. Powell behind the plate's throwing out 27% of the runners, so that's pretty good. So it's hard to get a big jump if you're the runner, and then the catcher behind the plate has done a nice job of throwing runners out.
Hit well out towards right field, and it is caught by Dakota Jordan. So Jordan able to track that one down off the bat of Stovall, and one down.
Stovall did what you're supposed to do. Even on a 3-2 predictable fastball count, you got to stay through the ball lefty on lefty matchup because a lot of the cutters and sliders are moving away from the barrel. So it got in on him just enough to keep that ball in the ballpark. Peyton Stovall still put a drive into it, but not enough.
Jared Sprague-Lott will step in with one down. Holt over at first base after his leadoff single. That pitch missing away to the Philadelphia native. Skied in the air towards right field. Aaron Downs has a beat on it. He makes the catch. 2 down.
That's the second hitter in a row Pico Khan has gotten in on. The fastball's got a little giddy up to it with a little cut action. And Sprague-Lott not able to get the barrel out.
Vahiva Oloy will try to keep the inning going for the Razorbacks.
Yeah, you got to say that first name slow enough to be able to get it right. Vahiva. Not anywhere close to the way it's spelled.
And that evens up the count at 1 ball and 1 strike. Well, Oloy is the team leader in home runs and RBIs. Big threat in the middle of the Arkansas lineup. But he's trailing the count 1-2.
Yeah, and you talk to DVH, Dave Van Horn will tell you that this kid's got a lot of talent, and there's at bats where he's just as competitive as anybody in the league, and then he kind of loses it for a little while and spins out of control, and then he's back at it. But he's got a nice, quick, short, compact swing.
And the offense has been one of the things about this Arkansas team that has been a little concerning at times when you take a look at their average. It's near the bottom of the SEC. Batting under 280 as a team heading into this series. Trying to get some 2-out magic going here. Aloy pops this one towards center field, but right into the glove of Dakota Jordan. Leadoff single for Peyton Holt, but the Bulldogs hold the Razorbacks at bay in the first.
When's the last time I used that thing? When did it become a clothes rack? Did the clothes rack get more expensive?
Spend, save, and plan smarter with Erica from Bank of America.
Right now, you can get a free footlong at Subway. Just buy any footlong in the app and get one free. Like the Titan Turkey, piled high with fresh sliced turkey, or the Outlaw with juicy steak and melted pepper jack cheese. Just scan the QR code and enter promo code FLBOGO.
Oh, I'm all over this deal.
It only works on the other side of the screen, buddy.
Chuck, you still got a landline in your house.
Here, just take my free sub. Order now on the Subway app.
Hey, wake up. The words in your head, you're the only one that can hear them. Say it. Yes, I can. Move. Feel it. Hold on to this feeling. Yes, I can. Yes, I must. Watch me.
is how you keep it going, rain or shine. Kingsburg is how you do it.
Top of the second inning, Mississippi State and Arkansas. The fans at Baum Walker Stadium having themselves a time and hoping that their Razorbacks can grab a series win here against Mississippi State, who has been one of the hotter teams in SEC play as of late. It'll be Amani Larry starting the inning off as the Pig Suey chants rolling along in Fayetteville.
Another North Louisiana kid, Peyton Stovall, Houghton, Louisiana. Amani Larry, Bossier City, Louisiana. Also across the river from where I'm at right now. Big-time athlete at Parkway High School.
He's ahead here, 3-0, and this is a similar field to what we saw a little bit in the first inning for Molina. There's a called strike, 3-1.
Yeah, he went 3-0 on the leadoff hitter in the first inning, and then he ended up getting him out. Now here he is in trouble again.
Now a full count pitch on the way as Molina battles back. And Larry draws a walk. That pitch just a little bit low. He's a leadoff base runner as Logan Kohler steps in.
Well, when you're living behind in the count, eventually it's going to bite you. And right here on 3-2 and nobody on, walks the leadoff hitter, Amani Larry. And so far, Mason Molina's having to throw a lot more fastballs than he probably even wants to because he's been behind in so many counts.
Kohler swings at the first pitch and lines it into right field for a base hit. Larry stays put at second base and 2 on quickly for Mississippi State in the second.
And when the fastball becomes predictable, that's what happens. These guys can really swing it. And Logan Kohler, lefty on lefty matchups, not going to go deep in the count, and gets the first pitch fastball, rips it into right field for a base hit. 2 on for State with nobody out.
Aaron Downs now with a golden opportunity to get his team onto the board first. .263 hitter on the season. Hit sharply, and that is a fair ball. Larry makes the turn past third. He will score standing. And it's an RBI hit off the bat of Aaron Downs, and Mississippi State is out in front first, 1-0.
It looked like Spraglott had a beat on it and went ricocheted off of his glove. The ball was ripped right at him. And let's take another look. Just a bullet to third base. He had a chance, but couldn't get enough on it. Ball goes off into the left field corner, scores a run for State, and now Arkansas in early trouble with nobody out.
Ethan Pulliam with 2 runners in scoring position and 1 across. Swings at the first pitch. Fouls it away, and this Mississippi State approach has been patient at times, but aggressive at others.
Well, McLaughlin's in on the grass, but this is where the hitter needs to hit it to the right side, particularly to Stovall or through the right side to get the run home and the runner over to third with less than 2 outs.
There's already action in the Arkansas bullpen. Gage Wood is starting to get loose. Breaking ball, that connects for a called strike.
And I always like the off speed. It's going to be tougher for that hitter to go the other way when the ball's coming with less velocity. And Pulliam, again, his job is to hit it to the right side.
2-2.
But what it also does as a hitter is it allows you to see the ball longer. You see him tapping his chest, the two-strike fight. Jake Gautreaux, the hitting coach, kind of brought it into the league, acknowledging to everybody he's going to fight here with 2 strikes.
Just missing. Hudson White tried to frame that up. And instead it's a full count offering on the way. Pulliam looking for his first hit of the series. Hit sharply, but foul.
Change up. Great spot for that. Ideally with 1 out, you don't mind walking the guy with the base open at first because the double play gets you out of the inning. But with no outs, it's a little tougher to throw. But Mason Molina, nice job with the 3-2 change up. Almost got away with it, trying to get a swing and miss.
Payoff pitch. Hit well out to left. That one is gone. A 3-run homer off the bat of Ethan Pulliam. And all of a sudden it is 4-0 Mississippi State on the first home run of the season by Pulliam.
How about that? Only his 15th start. Ethan Pulliam, the freshman, hitting .240. Gets the 3-2 changeup, fouls it off down the line. That allows him to sit back just a little bit longer, expecting that same pitch. Gets it and rips it into left field for the 3-run homer. That ball was right middle into the swing plane of Pulliam, and he Pulliams it out of the park. That ball's a bullet.
I see what you did there.
Yeah.
We saw what Pulliam did there as well.
Hey, man.
Tremendous stuff.
Yeah, this team's been hot. I mean, you don't walk into Fayetteville and beat up on this team. Arkansas is 32-3 here at home. And what they're doing, State, yesterday and today, is pretty impressive. Now, State came in hot, too. They were 10 of their last 12 coming in, and both teams fighting for home field advantage, like we said in the open.
Molina will stay in. Well, hold the phone. Maybe not. And it looks like we will have a pitching change. So already, Mason Molina's day is done. He could not get an out recorded in the second inning. Mississippi State has already pushed 4 in. They lead it 4-0. We'll tell you about the pitching change when we return.
Why always the couch? Does he need to go to puppy school? Get his little puppy diploma? How much have I been spending on this little guy?
When your questions about life turn into questions about money, there's Erica, the virtual financial assistant to help you spend, save, and plan smarter. Only from Bank of America. What would you like the power to do?
Right now, you can get a free footlong at Subway. Just buy any footlong in the app and get 1 free. Like the Titan Turkey, piled high with fresh sliced turkey, or the Outlaw with juicy steak and melted pepper jack cheese. Just scan the QR code and enter promo code FLBOGO.
Oh, I'm all over this deal.
It only works on the other side of the screen, buddy.
Chuck, you still got a landline in your house.
Here, just take my free sub. Order now on the Subway app.
Ever since our tournament leader started dipping what appears to be a chicken tender in Hidden Valley Ranch, he's just stopped playing.
To be fair, Bill, it does look zesty.
Hit the ball! Sorry for raising my voice.
Hidden Valley Ranch.
Only serious about flavor.
Tacos.
Can Billy come out to play? Yes! Woohoo!
The all-new Tacoma. Toyota. Let's go places.
We'd like to welcome in our audience now on the SEC Network. Derek Jones and Todd Walker with you. It's still the top of the second inning as Mississippi State has chased Mason Molina out of the game. And it's Gage Wood who is in to try to get things going here for this Arkansas pitching staff that has been rattled here in the top of the second.
Well, it was Gage Wood who came in Friday night and slammed the door on Mississippi State with the bases loaded and nobody out. Preserved the win, game one for Arkansas. He's back. Fastball heavy, and it's dominant. Opponent's only hitting 125 off his fastball until now.
Joe Powell buries this over the wall. Home run for Mississippi State yet again. Back-to-back home runs by the Bulldogs, and it's now 5-0 on the first home run of the season for Powell.
How about the 8 and 9 hole hitters for Mississippi State? Both home runs, both in a similar spot to left field. Again, Gage Wood flips that fastball in there. That's why it's hard to come back after he pitched 2 days ago in a high-intent situation, and now you come back in the second inning and expected to not only get him out of this inning but last through this game for Gage Wood, and it's just difficult.
Bryce Chance pops this one in the air. A little tricky, but Peyton Stovall able to make the catch for the first out of the inning.
Man, this fastball was center cut, and the leverage from Powell to left field. They talk about hitting contagious. Well, it is in this inning for Mississippi State. They have been on fire since Amani Larry walked to lead off this inning.
David Mershon will step in. He singled in his first appearance. And he takes a called strike, 0-1. If you're just joining us on the SEC Network, Ethan Pulliam hit a 3-run homer to make it 4-0. And then, of course, you've just seen Joe Powell's homer as this one is grounded over to first base. The toss over to Wood in time, 2 down.
Well, let's start with the 8-hole. Ethan Pulliam with 2 guys on. The starter, Mason Molina, gets the 3-2 changeup, rips it into left field for the 3-run homer. That puts State up 4-0 at that point. Next hitter, Joe Powell, with a fastball, rips it into left. Both kids, first home runs of the year out of the 8 and 9 hole for Mississippi State.
And that has to please Chris Lemonis, who has been very eager to see his team continue this hot play as of late. And it's one of the reasons why they're in the conversation to host a regional in a few weeks. And what a chance for them to bolster their case with a series win here on the road against Arkansas. Fouled away.
Yeah, I still believe Arkansas is pretty solid in not only hosting a regional but also a super regional as a top 8 national seed here in Fayetteville. I mean, the RPI is great. Arkansas is 4 RPI in the country, so Arkansas is safe. For Mississippi State, they're trying to get in that conversation of just hosting the regional as a top 16 in Starkville. And again, home field advantage so important with the road trying to get to Omaha.
You see on a week-to-week basis how hard it is for road teams to win in the SEC, but you apply that to super regionals, it's even more difficult to get things done on the road in that spot. That's why hosting potentially down the line in that spot can be so key, as Mississippi State looking for their first series win in Fayetteville since 2007. Meanwhile, Arkansas trying to continue business as usual at home in the SEC. But Dakota Jordan adds to his strong weekend. He's got another hit. He's a 2-out base runner here for the Bulldogs.
8th hitter of the inning to come up. Dakota Jordan with the base hit up the middle. 2 outs, and State already with a big lead.
Hunter Hines takes a look at a called strike on the first pitch, 0-1. Mississippi State, no stranger to putting up crooked numbers over the last 24 hours in this series. Had a 4-run inning yesterday in the win. And they've scored 5 times here in the second.
And it doesn't get any easier. Now you got to face Hunter Hines, top 5 all-time. Mississippi State career home runs with 52.
Fouled away. And that's the thing. We talk so much about Dakota Jordan. the resume that Hunter Hines has, not bad at all.
Pretty strong, especially those top 2 up there.
Rafael Palmeiro and the great Will Clark leading the pack. But Hines goes down swinging to close out the second inning. But Mississippi State tacks on 5. They're out in front.
Meet Ron. Ron eats, sleeps, and breathes hoops.
Us? Not us.
And there's not a no-look pass, double-double, or buzzer beater he won't wax poetic on, ad nauseum. But oh, how he can nail a software solution like the best high-screen pick-and-roll you've ever seen. You need Ron. Ron needs a retirement plan. Work with Principal so we can help you help Ron with a retirement and benefits plan that's right for him. Let our expertise round out yours.
Before this fire, there must be smoke. Before I'm dead, I gotta go. Before this fire, there must be smoke. Before I'm gone, I gotta go.
It's how you finally meet the neighbors. Kingsford, it's how you do it.
Five to nothing lead for Mississippi State against Arkansas. A part of it, Ethan Pulliam, 3-run homer, his first home run of the year back in the second inning. And then right after him, Joe Powell completed the back-to-back job with his first home run of the year, and that's an incredible thing. It's one thing to get back-to-back homers from the bottom of the order, but it's another thing when it's each of the players' first homers of the season.
Yeah, well, they had Amani Larry playing second base, and now since Pulliam's been in, he's just done just such a nice job for them defensively. Only his 15th start of the year today. He's going to be a player.
And that bat has provided a major spark in this game as Ben McLaughlin level here at 1 ball and 1 strike. And this has to be a confident moment here for Pico Khan, given a 5-run advantage, 2-1.
Well, and this is where the offense becomes an issue for Arkansas, right? I mean, they're not an explosive group that's going to all of a sudden catch up in 5. Now, they can do it clearly, but they're set up for a guy like Hagen Smith to be out there and, you know, keeping the other team to 1 or 2 runs, and then they manufacture a few, and they can beat you that way with pitching and defense. But when you get behind 5-0, and all of a sudden you're expecting an Arkansas offense to just, you know, tornado their way through something like that, it's just going to be difficult. It's going to be difficult for most.
2-2 over to first base, fielded on a hop by Hines. He steps on the bag for 1 down, and it's looking at their offense. I mean, Todd, it's an offense for Arkansas, 271 on the season heading into today, which is 12th in the SEC. I mean, looking forward, is that a major concern for you as you assess their opportunity to make a run?
Well, Dave Van Horn, we talked to him on Friday, and he certainly thinks they're capable of being much better than the numbers show, and they are. I mean, Stovall's a real dude. Spraglott and Holt all hitting over 300. McLaughlin's right there as well. So they've got the opportunity to do that. They don't bash out a ton of home runs. I mean, they've got 67 on the year compared to Tennessee's got over 130. But they remind me a lot of the Florida 2017 team, right? So Florida won the national championship in 17. Their team batting average was 259. Arkansas's offense is better than that. Of course, back then they had Alex Faedo as their ace. Arkansas has Hagen Smith. So there's a lot of similarities between the two teams, going all the way down to earned run average. But they remind me of that Florida team who got it done in 2017. You don't have to bang out 15 hits. You just got to get them at the right time. But you got to be able to pitch it, which Arkansas can, and you got to be able to play defense, which they're top in the league there as well.
Arkansas is second in the country in weekend ERA heading into this series, only behind Lamar. Mississippi State, by the way, they're also in the top 15 in that category as well. They're 12th. So both of these teams can throw it, but you're right, Todd. Situational hitting, I mean, that's very important when you get into these type of situations where you're talking SEC tournament, regionals, super regionals, and beyond.
Well, and, when you start looking at national champions since that 2017 season with Florida, they have the Batman Robin thing going. So Alex Faedo was their ace. Remember, they had Brady Singer on that team as a number 2. Mississippi State, when they won in 2021, they had Will Bednar behind Landon Sims. So there's always 2. And Brady Tigert hadn't quite done the job. He had a rough outing yesterday for Arkansas. I think he's got a ton more in the tank. He's got a lot of ability, and that curveball's nasty. But they know they got an ace in Hagen Smith. So anytime you walk into a 3-game series against Arkansas, it's going to be 1-0 Arkansas.
Helfrich drops this one into left field. It'll be extra bases. He'll head into second base with a stand-up double, and Arkansas has a runner in scoring position, courtesy of Ryder Helfrich.
Yeah, another freshman that's been a nice find for Arkansas. Only his 20th start of the year. Kahn puts it out over the plate. Wasn't a bad pitch with some pull on that velocity, a changeup. And Helfrich just reaches out, gets the barrel on it, rips it down the left field line.
Hudson White swings at the first pitch and hits this one a mile high in the air. And Mershon is there in foul territory to make the catch.
Yeah, already a big night this weekend. He barely missed that one. That was a nice swing. Ball was a little up, and he just got under it.
So the struggles with runners in scoring position continuing here for Arkansas. Kendall Diggs takes a look at a called strike on the first pitch. 0-1 as Arkansas 0 for 10 since yesterday with runners in scoring position. They'll try to end that slide.
Yeah, and that's been the part that Arkansas struggled with in their SEC losses. 11 for 72 with runners in scoring position. That is rough. And for me as a hitter, when you start talking about hitting with runners in scoring position, especially with 2 outs, it was always about being patient and getting deep in counts, and not only as an individual hitter but as a group. And if you were to string at-bats together with deep count at-bats, I think it takes care of that number. But if you're aggressive, the pitchers play off of that with runners in scoring position. A lot of times you get early off speed, and you get yourself out more often than not.
And this could be a big piece here with Diggs trying to round back into form after batting .291 last season. He just has not been able to get in the rhythm this year. 2-2.
Yeah, he's hurt right now. He's just kind of coming back from a little nagging injury. And so for him, I mean, he's got a lot more in the tank, as you see with the numbers right there. And he's got some pop, too. few big pinch hit pops his freshman year, home runs. So he's got the ability to play the outfield, can run. I mean, he could be a 5-tool player if he puts it all together offensively.
He committed. He strikes out to end the second inning. So the struggles continue for Arkansas with runners in scoring position. They trail 5-0.
The Cantina Chicken Burrito isn't just for late night, because it keeps it light with slow-roasted shredded chicken and finely shredded purple cabbage in a freshly grilled tortilla that's not shredded. Introducing the new Cantina Chicken Burrito, only at Taco Bell.
To test the toughness of the Kia Sorento X-Pro and the Kia Sorento Turbo Hybrid, we recreated some of the wettest springs, hottest summers, windiest falls, and coldest winters. All on one track to prove these three-row SUVs were built for the unstoppable. Kia, movement that inspires.
No fees or minimums and no overdraft fees are another reason banking with Capital One is an even easier decision than this.
We need a clutch hit. Derek. Jeter.
Hang in there, rookie. Yep, even easier than that. What's in your wallet?
You've earned this, so hold it up high. It's your job to stock the city, restaurants and rooftops, bars and basements. Every corner store. And when it gets tough, you stay driven. Give it all you got, going nonstop, 20 stops. Because at the end of the day, every single round is on you. You are a fighter, and this is your reward. Modelo, the mark of a fighter.
Derek Jones and Todd Walker with you. It is a 5-0 lead for Mississippi State as we get a look there at Bulldogs head coach Chris Lemonis. His team has missed the NCAA tournament the last 2 seasons, but, Todd, they are poised to make a return with what they've been able to do this year.
First national championship in Mississippi State history in any sport. Chris Lemonis was able to deliver that for them in 2021. And, yeah, they're putting on quite a resume this year. They're still hurt. Nate Dome has been out. That's one of their best, if not the best pitcher. And then Connor Heisek, we talked about offensively, is their best hitter. He's out as well. So if they can get healthy, they're going to be in good shape. And that's been the problem for Mississippi State over the last few years. They have just lost a ton of talent to injuries.
Amani Larry pops this one in the air. Could be playable, but sliding to try to make the catch was Hudson White. It looked like he picked it up a little bit too late, and as a result, Larry stays alive.
Yeah, great effort right there from White behind the plate. I mean, the first thing you got to do is find it. He doesn't know quite where it's at. Then he loses the mask, able to see it a little better, and wasn't able to get there. If he reacts right away, he might have had a shot, but again, it's hard to find when it goes up in the air with that mask on.
Monty Larry hits this one over to second base. Stovall is there, makes the throw to McLaughlin in time for the first out of the inning. By the way, to go back quickly to the injury situation for Mississippi State, they are hoping to have Nate Dome back at some point. It's been kind of a situation where they thought he was going to come back maybe a little sooner. They've had a couple of setbacks, and as a result, Dome has not been able to return quite yet, as this one is hit well out towards left field, but foul.
So, again, if they get their best pitcher and their best hitter back for Mississippi State, I mean, they walked into this series, won 10 out of the last 12, and they've split so far with what I think is the #1 team in the country in Arkansas. State's for real.
Kohler, a part of that big second inning. Had a single, scored a run. Takes a look at a fastball there. 2 balls and 1 strike. Another fastball missing. As Kohler ahead here, 3-1.
And you know what's amazing too, Derek, is like when you go through a full baseball season, 60, 70 games, clearly you're going to get punched in the mouth at some point. This is Arkansas's punch in the mouth this weekend so far. Clearly they can come back and win this game, but they're 32-3 at home. I mean, can you 32-3? They don't get beat here in Fayetteville. And they basically gave it up yesterday by the walks and everything else that went on, and now they're in trouble again today. But everybody knows for every team you're going to go through a little bad period, but it's who comes out of it at the right time at the end that makes all the difference.
Fouled away again. Another full count situation for Mississippi State. Already 4 full counts in this game.
And, man, what a great job that man has done, too. Dave Van Horn in his 22nd year here at Arkansas. 7 trips to Omaha, 3 SEC Coach of the Year. Just incredible how the kids respond to Dave Van Horn. I mean, year in and year out.
3-2, and that one just missing the mark. We will hear from Chris Lemonis coming up in just a bit, as I'm sure he has been pleased with the proceedings, but you can't count out Arkansas. They have so much ability to slow you down with those arms as this game wears on.
Those interviews are much more fun when you're interviewing the coach that's ahead.
Yes.
They're in a little better mood.
One-0 to Downs. Make that 1-1. So Downs got the scoring started back in the second with an RBI double that scored Amani Larry. Ground ball, tough play for Sprague Lott, and everybody's safe on the high hop.
That is the second ball that's bounced out of the glove of Sprague Lott. Now, I still remember the play he made against Florida. The guy can really play some third base, but twice today the ball has hit his glove and bounced out. And that was not going to be a double play anyway, and it was going to be a tough play even at first. But he does keep it on the infield. That clearly would have gotten Kohler over to third base, so he keeps it there, keeps the runners at first and second.
Arkansas is yet to retire hitters 6 through 9 for Mississippi State as Pulliam hits this one off of Stovall. It ricochets into right field. That will score Kohler, and the lead increases to 6-0.
So I don't know if I've seen so many ricochets in the first 3 innings of any game. Twice by Sprague Lott, and then Peyton Stovall at second doesn't miss. Zero errors on the air, and that should be a base hit too. That was a missile right at him, but he tried to catch it kind of sideways, and that's how hard it hit him. Almost went to the right field foul line, but Arkansas just not able to put the glove on it in this inning.
It's officially scored a double. So Downs able to make his way to third base. And Pulliam has another extra base hit. We talked so much about Dakota Jordan at the beginning of this game. Hunter Hines as well. Who knew Arkansas would not be able to get out the bottom of this order for Mississippi State?
They're doing all the damage. From Amani Larry down, they've scored every run. And outside the base hits by Mershon and Jordan, singles, the 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 guys have been crazy good. And when you're getting production like that in the bottom of your lineup, that's a good sign for the entire offense.
So that will bring up Joe Powell as Christian Fauch warming up in the pen for Arkansas. Powell smoked a home run to left field back in the second inning. Called strike, 0-1. A big hook that Powell is unable to catch up with. It's 0-2.
Isn't it amazing how things can change quickly? Arkansas, with the bases loaded, Mississippi State, the bases loaded on Friday night, they get out of that jam, win game one, and then it's all kind of gone sideways. And what's their strength, which is pitching and defense? And again, you're not expected through a full baseball season to be perfect every day. And you're not seeing the best version of the Arkansas Razorbacks yesterday or today, but they certainly have a ton of talent and a lot of pieces to get this thing done at the end.
Powell swings and misses, so that big sweeping curve is able to retire Powell for the second out of the inning.
Well, Gage Wood's going to show you that fastball and then come back with this 12-6 curve. It's tough to find a contact point for a hitter. You see it in one spot, and then it just drops off the table. And nice pitch by Gage Wood for the second out.
Flips it for Bryce Chance. There's another breaking ball. This time misses. So runners at second and third base. Pulliam over at second. Aaron Downs over at third. Towering fly ball. Stovall gives chase. He makes the catch to eliminate any further damage. Recorded by Mississippi State, but it's a 6-0 lead for the Bulldogs.
Why always the couch? Does he need to go to puppy school? Get his little puppy diploma. How much have I been spending on this little guy?
When your questions about life turn into questions about money, there's Erica, the virtual financial assistant to help you spend, save, and plan smarter. Only from Bank of America. What would you like the power to do?
From friends coming over to moms coming over. So many ways to save. Life ready, wallet happy. That's 365 by Whole Foods Market.
Mississippi State leading Arkansas 6-0 here in the bottom of the third inning. Derek Jones and Todd Walker joined right now by the head coach of Mississippi State, Chris Lemonis. And Coach, you have to be very pleased with not only what your offense has done, but how about the bottom of the order really coming through?
Yeah, some big swings down there. Ethan, two big ones, and a Joe with one there too. So they've done a nice job, probably done most of the damage.
Pico Khan had a big outing against Ole Miss. He's looked good today. Of course, he's got to be feeling pretty good with a 6-run lead. What have you seen out of him?
He's just pitching and mixing and throwing a lot of strikes. I don't think any lead feels good in this league, right? So I think he's just, still competing. He's just coming back, from his year off, but he's been really good lately.
6-0 lead for Chris Lemonis and the Mississippi State Bulldogs, and he has to feel pretty good out of what he's seen from his team, not just in this game, but in this series thus far.
Well, it's pretty cool. His wife, Jill, happy Mother's Day from Chris Lemonis. I like that he mentioned that. Yeah, I mean, Chris Lemonis over the last few weeks has got to feel good about a lot of things. Again, what they've been through after 2021 till now, and they finally put it back together, and we've already talked about the two missing pieces. If they get those back, they're really in great shape. But even without them, I mean, they've won 11 games in the last, 11 out of 14 now coming into today. State's looked really good.
And that is a foul ball, and that is a stinging foul ball for Peyton Holt. He tries to walk that off. I mean, Holt, just over the last few weeks, has put together two of the best defensive plays we've seen in college baseball in quite some time. Of course, the deke, and then the catch yesterday, the spectacular diving stab against Mississippi State that earned him a SportsCenter top 10 nod.
Yeah, he's been really good. And the deke heard around the world is interesting because I played a lot of baseball, and I don't remember anybody even talking about doing something like that. So to just think about doing it is one thing. And we talked to Dave Van Horn about that, and he said, yeah, at the end of all the fly balls, and they mess around with going up against the wall, running, making plays over your head, and then that play right there. He said he did it on his own. And it's something that's unique because it basically won the game against Florida, but it's also something that now every outfielder wants to try and do, and it's just not that easy. And you're not going to be successful at it.
And that's the thing. Not everybody can do it. That's the trick.
Well, especially now. Now everybody's fully aware,
Holt behind here, 1-2. In the air towards right field. And Downs is there.
Now batting for the Razorbacks, number 10.
Well, they haven't had very many good passes at Pico Khan, who's, again, coming off probably his best run of the year over the last few weeks. Feeling pretty good, even though he only had 12 innings coming into today, and it's probably the best case scenario for Mississippi State, having a guy out there with only 12 innings on the year now through the second time of the order.
And he's trying to deal with something that so many pitchers have had to deal with as of late, and that's coming off of Tommy John surgery. And that has been an ongoing thing, certainly in the major league side of business, but also at the college baseball level. And seeing how these pitchers respond has been one of the unique things to see along college baseball.
Well, then the other unique thing is he's an original Bulldog. Been there all 3 years. This is third year.
And what a stab there by Khan to end the inning. Happy Mother's Day, and a shout out to all of the mothers as a part of Mississippi State baseball as we go to break.
Right now, you can get a free footlong at Subway. Just buy any footlong in the app and get one free. Like the Titan Turkey, piled high with fresh sliced turkey, or the Outlaw with juicy steak and melted pepper jack cheese. Just scan the QR code and enter promo code FLBOGO.
Oh, I'm all over this deal.
It only works on the other side of the screen, buddy.
Chuck, you still got a landline in your house.
Here, just take my free sub. Order now on the Subway app.
Hey, it's me, your future you. You made some bad money moves.
Now we're totally screwed.
Didn't fund your IRA.
Thought NFTs were a better play.
Now you still work at 103.
Your boss hasn't hit puberty.
Who's ready for their performance review?
Don't make your future you hate you.
Start making smarter financial decisions today. NerdWallet. Finance smarter.
Mississippi State leads Arkansas 6-0. Derek Jones and Todd Walker joined right now by the head coach of the Arkansas Razorbacks, Dave Van Horn. Coach, thanks for giving us your time here. It's still early. Your offense has a chance here to kind of turn things around. What have you seen from them in these first few innings?
Well, not a whole lot, actually. I think Lefty's doing a great job against us. He's throwing strikes, and we knew that's what we were going to get. I mean, he's done a tremendous job. We've got to try to string together a couple of hits. It doesn't look like he's really going to give us much.
DVH, you guys have won 6 of the last 8 series. You've been doing this a long time. You know at some point in the season, no matter how good you are, you're going to get popped. What do you tell these emotional 18-year-old kids?
Yeah, it's I tell them you got to take the good and the bad in this league, because just about the time you start thinking you're pretty good, you find out that there's a lot of other good teams in this league as well, and they'll hurt you. And that's kind of what we found out the last couple of days. We were fortunate to win on Friday. Our offense did a good job. Our bullpen did a good job, and we squeaked out a win. And then, yesterday was almost identical to what happened today. We found ourselves down 4 runs real quick yesterday, and then obviously 5 today.
Coach, thank you for your time. We appreciate you.
Okay, see you guys.
They had such a good year in 2021. I went back. I have that kind of time, so I looked it up. They had won all 10 series in 2021 under Dave Van Horn. And when Skip Burtman used to tell us that the coach gets way too much blame when you lose and way too much credit when you win, Dave Van Horn has done an incredible job at Arkansas over his 22 years, but more specifically the last 4 after COVID. I mean, they've won 75% of their series. I mean, that's 7 out of 10 every year. I mean, what he's done and the way the kids respond has just been amazing.
Wood gets Mershon there, and certainly the success has been just absolutely sensational for Arkansas under Dave Van Horn. And it's one of those things we've talked about earlier in the week with him. The culture he's been able to build here at Arkansas has been just a joy to track.
And I asked him that same question I just said, and, of course, he's going to defer to he said what great, coaches they have with Nate Thompson and Matt Hobbs and Bobby Wernis and, the guys that kind of established that culture here at Arkansas, and the kids know what to expect when they get in. And, Dave Van Horn's not a yeller either, so he's not a guy that when you're a kid and, he gets on you that you're going to, not want to play for him. So, I mean, that's a real thing. If you respect the coach, then you're going to want to run through a brick wall. And Dave Van Horn, it seems like he's that guy, that he just gets the best out of his players.
And just something like how they handle the end of seasons. The season's so long, it's difficult for players, from a physical standpoint, and just something in terms of managing the team on a game-in, game-out basis with how they do things. That can help as well in terms of the culture, to kind of see guys hanging around still actively being a part of things. And that's one of the reasons why they've been able to have success, especially when they get to the postseason.
I played for some coaches that I didn't want to play for, and it makes a difference, in how you go out on the field and perform. And there's also coaches that I loved. Buddy Bell at Colorado, Bob Boone at Cincinnati, just goes on, Grady Little in Boston. So there were managers that I played for that you just loved and just wanted to play for, and you get the feel at Arkansas over the years that Dave Van Horn is one of that guy. Now, you're not always going to please everybody, but 43 wins last year for Arkansas. They had so many injuries. I mean, they barely made it through the season, still had 43 wins. I mean, it just goes on and on.
Full count pitch to Dakota Jordan, and he gets hit. The previous pitch had come in a little inside, and then that one caught Jordan.
Well, this is what happens when you have to be really precise against one of the best hitters in the league. Is Gage Wood trying to throw that front door curveball and fool him. That's the curveball that the hitter thinks is coming at him, and he move out of the way, and then it drops in the zone for a strike. But that one didn't have any bend to it and stayed up and hit him.
4th time this season that Jordan has been hit by a pitch as he scurries back. Foul territory. Sprague Lott giving chase, and he makes a catch.
As a hitter, you always love the ballparks where there was not a lot of foul territory. That way that ball gets into the stands. But when you've got a ton, it'll affect your average. And when we talk about Arkansas's offense, who has to play here at home all the time, I mean, that takes away a lot of hits. Balls like that in most ballparks will be in the stands.
Amani Larry steps in with 2 down and a runner at first in the form of Dakota Jordan. Jordan only has 3 stolen bases all season, but they don't want him getting into scoring position here.
Yeah, it's a good time to try it, right? With 2 outs, the main decision is whether or not you want Monty Larry to lead off the next inning if he gets blown up at second base. So it's worth the risk right here to get Dakota Jordan over to second base. Like, in other words, you wouldn't want Barry Bonds at the plate and get thrown out at second base and then have Barry lead off the next inning, right? But you don't mind Armani Larry doing it. On-base percentage is almost 50% for Larry. And that's the decision as to whether or not you want to try the risk of stealing the bag. And White behind the plate, by the way, is only thrown out 14%. 3 of 22.
White sporting the pink gear today in support of Mother's Day. Hit sharply by Larry. Good play by Sprague Lott. The throw in time to McLaughlin over at first base. As Sprague Lott closes the proceedings in the top of the 4th inning. Mississippi State still up 6-0.
What if money moved at the speed of pizza? It only takes a few minutes to send a pizza across town. But to send money, you might have to wait a week. If money is just bits of data, it should move like bits of data. That's how crypto works. And it's why with crypto, you can send money around the world in seconds. That's even faster than pizza.
Reeves Me says getting Taco Bell during the daytime feels unethical, which is why I'm going to use the Cantina chicken menu to help change his mind.
The chicken's great.
Well, well, well.
Oh.
Didn't you post this? Getting Taco Bell during the daytime feels unethical. Is it daytime or nighttime? Yes. So what do you think, Reeve? I mean, because plus the sun makes me think that your pants might be on fire. You get what I'm saying, right?
So I'm a liar?
Well.
The new Cantina chicken menu isn't just for late night.
That's everything.
That's everything.
Yeah? Everything? Not everything.
The Hyundai Palisade. With advanced tech and award-winning safety. There's joy in every journey. Now get up to $1,250 bonus cash on the Palisade or pay only $432 a month after down payment. Visit your Crane Hyundai dealer today.
Georgia's Charlie Condon, a history maker this season, 34th homer of the year, as he tagged that one against South Carolina, second most in SEC history, and it's the most in the BB Core era since 2011. That headlines our news and notes. That includes the number 1 team in the nation, Todd. Tennessee has been tremendous yet again.
Well, the offense for Tennessee is ridiculous. Number 1 in the SEC. We already talked about the 130 some odd home runs they've already hit. Tennessee's for real. But so is Arkansas. So is Texas A&M, although A&M's been struggling. Lost 2 in a row to Ole Miss this weekend. Lost 2 of 3 last weekend to LSU. But how about Charlie Condon? I mean, really? I mean, 460 with 34 home runs. And we do know there's been an uptick in the offense since the beginning of last year with the BB Core bats, all the way back to before that started in 2010, 2011 with the BB Core. But that kid at 6'6", just levers. I mean, just strong levers and keeps everything still. And, you know, the hardest thing for young kids to teach them is to keep their eyes still and everything still because they don't have their muscles developed, so they're moving all over the place. But for Charlie Condon, he stays still. There's no wasted movement in that swing, and it is just a tornado when that ball hits home plate.
And we talked about these two teams having designs on hosting Georgia as well, in part because of Charlie Condon's ability to swing the bat, as Sprague Lott pulls that one foul. His count remains full at 3 balls and 2 strikes.
Well, yeah, Georgia's got 133 home runs, so they can bash it around too. Corey Collins' on base percentage is almost 60%. Dylan Goldstein can swing it. So Georgia, who has still like problems on the mound, although Leighton Finley has been very good, and Charlie Goldstein in the mound's good, but Georgia's making a run, yeah. And there's going to be a team that, like we talked about Mississippi State, that's going to come out and win 16 or 17 conference games and get in to where they host regional.
As we get a look at the projected top 16 national seeds, according to D1 Baseball, Arkansas in the 5th spot at the moment, Mississippi State at 12. Talk about Georgia, they're in that 14th spot. South Carolina, they're right on the line there at 16. But we talked about it earlier, the importance of, yes, hosting a regional, but also if you're in that top 8 spot, maybe even hosting a super regional as well, depending on how things shake out.
Well, Georgia just swept South Carolina, so that moves them a tick backwards. As A&M, we talked about them over the last few weeks. So it's still going to scramble around a little bit, but I think we're going to get 3, if not 4 teams in the top 8, which means they host the regional and the super. That'll be Kentucky, A&M, Tennessee, and Arkansas. All 4 in the top 8, barring any craziness here in the last week of the season, next week before the tournament. And then you got State, you got Georgia, that most likely will host a regional, and then Bama, Ole Miss, and Vandy, and Florida all have 11 wins in the conference. They've got some work to do, and LSU still just scraping, just barely hanging on.
They are trying to avoid becoming another national championship winner that does not make the NCAA tournament the following season. That has happened to the championship winners in the SEC in 21 and 22.
Isn't that amazing?
It's one of the more interesting things that you see right now in college baseball. Now, look, a part of that, you could say transfer portal changes, whatever, but, I mean, LSU, they lost a ton of talent to the draft, as Aloy can't catch up to that one, 1 and 2.
Yeah, 13 got drafted. Top 2 picks in the draft last year from LSU have gone. Trey Morgan, the Gold Glover, he's gone. So, I mean, when everybody expected in Baton Rouge for them to be the same team that led the nation in run production offensively and had those pieces, you know, with Paul Skeens, it's just not going to happen. And, you know, the 2 freshmen actually are 2 of the better hitters in that lineup for LSU. And they don't have a Paul Skeens. Arkansas does, and Hagen Smith, and that's why I say you got to look at that. When you're looking at a 2 or 3 game series in a super regional, I mean, Hagen Smith is a world beater, and, you know, there's a lot of pressure on him, but Paul Skeens got it done last year, you know, as the first pick, and Hagen Smith's facing that same pressure, but he is a stud and has the ability to carry Arkansas as far as they can go. And what we love about it is the parity, right? So 5 out of 6 national champions have come out of the SEC by 5 different teams.
Aloy strikes out for the first out of the inning. As we take a look at the last 4 in, first 4 out, we talked about LSU. They're on that bad spot of that list, the first 4 out, as you talked about it, Todd. They are fighting for their collective baseball lives right now to get into the NCAA regional field.
Yeah, but they beat the number 1 team in the country 2 weeks ago. LSU did, and they gave up a tough one to Alabama on the first night, beat them last night. They're behind today, but LSU, you know, look, when you get in the SEC tournament, it's a whole new season. Anything can happen. Texas A&M was 14 and 16 in the league last year and makes a run in the SEC tournament all the way to the final. Vanderbilt beat them on that Sunday, the final of the SEC tournament. So once you get to that point, you can forget about everything that's happened in the past, and it's a new season, and guys that show up and play well that you don't expect, that's part of winning national championships.
Ground ball, nice sliding play there made by Pulliam, but it will be an infield hit. And the Razorbacks are in business with 2 on as Sprague Lott gets to second base off of the infield single by Ben McLaughlin.
Nice attempt by Pulliam, who shaded up the middle on the double play. Had to go all the way to his left, got down on the ground, but the ground kind of caught him a little bit, like he wasn't able to slide like he probably expected, and then couldn't get the handle on the baseball, not able to make the throw. The glasses fall off. That's not an easy play for a second baseman who's looking for the double play up the middle and has to go all the way to his left.
Ryder Helfrich Stepping in, he's got a double so far. This is uncharted territory right now for Pico Khan. He's at a career high in number of pitches thrown as he's approaching 60 pitches so far today.
Yeah, and this is where Arkansas struggled. This is where you need the double in the gap, right? Scores the run, second and third, maybe 2 runs, and now you're off and running and you're back in this game. But they just haven't been able to get this hit in this situation.
This gets away. The runners will advance to second and third base, and a pair in scoring position now for the Razorbacks with 1 out as Sprague Lott over to third base and McLaughlin to second.
And now at the very least, you're behind the count with 2 strikes. You just put the ball in play. That's a run.
And we'll see a visit here to the mound. We'll see if this is a point where Khan might be wearing down a little bit. This, again, career high in terms of number of pitches for him. They do have some action in the bullpen as Cam Scholke is getting loose.
Yeah, and this is not only do you want to win the baseball game, but you're finding a lot of, Mississippi State is about Pico Khan and whether or not they can use him down the stretch and where they want to use him as a starter or as a long relief guy. And he's done a nice job today.
Two balls and 2 strikes. Scholke, who is getting loose, he picked up the win in the game yesterday for Mississippi State. 2-2. Hit sharply, but right to Mershon, and he makes the throw in time to get Helfrich. But scoring on the play is Jared Sprague Lott, and it is 6-1 in favor of Mississippi State.
Well, Helfrich did what they needed, not necessarily what they wanted. And there is a part of this, by the way, that's luck. I mean, he hit it right on the screws, but it was right at short. And when you talk about hitting with runners in scoring position or, getting key base hits, you can't guide it. All you can do is do exactly what Helfrich did. It's just unlucky.
Hudson White, who has produced with runners on, especially on Friday night. A spot for him to continue that trend. Overall in this series, Arkansas 3 for 19 with runners in scoring position. 0 for 9 yesterday, now 0 for 3 today. And let's go back to Friday night. And here's Hudson White with a big hit that pushed a couple across to break the tie and give Arkansas a lead they would not relinquish. So the game-winning hit recorded by White in the 7-5 win.
Did you see what he did right there, too? And that's what's tough to teach, right? I mean, you can teach a lot about hitting, but one thing is when that ball is recognized on the middle in, and that was way in on Hudson White, he pulled the barrel toward him first and then made contact with the barrel. That ball jams a lot of hitters with a dribbler to the left side. He pulled his hands in, got the barrel out, and got the base hit.
Did he go around? He did. A strikeout by Pico Khan to end the 4th. Bulldogs up 5.
Say hello to future you. You made some bad money moves.
So no vacations for you.
Never got a credit card with rewards.
Norway will never see your fjords.
All these places will never go.
Here isn't us in Mexico.
Don't make your future you hate you.
Start making smarter financial decisions today. NerdWallet. Finance smarter.
At Not Howie says Taco Bell only really hits after midnight, which is why I'm going to use the Cantina chicken menu to help him see the Taco Bell light.
Very juicy,
Hi. The food hits, right? Are you at not Howie? Does it hit or does it not hit?
I'd say it hits.
Yeah, it does hit.
I can't lie.
Okay, but you did, maybe.
The Cantina Chicken Crispy Taco isn't just for late night.
Sorry, party's canceled. Waiting on the cable internet guy.
First, I had cable, but those cords weren't me.
So he switched to T-Mobile home internet with 5G.
What a feeling! I have Wi-Fi now. I need home internet from T-Mobile to fulfill my life.
Get home internet from T-Mobile now, just $50 a month.
The fans are having a fun time at Baum-Walker Stadium doing a little base race. But the Bulldogs are having some fun with the bats. They lead it 6-1 against Arkansas. Derek Jones and Todd Walker with you as the bats of the Bulldogs picking up 5 runs in the second. Happy Mother's Day to everybody out there as another strong turnout here by the Arkansas faithful, and they'll see a new pitcher on the bump for the Razorbacks in Christian Fouch, who will take over for Gage Wood. Todd, what do you see?
Huge arm from Christian Fouch, the sophomore, 6'3", 230. Fastball's got some hair on it. It's coming. And why wouldn't he use it 77% of the time? So ERA is microscopic at 1. The walk to strike, you see that, 17 innings. But fastball has life. Got the slider and the change. Occasional cutter, but he's coming after you.
He'll be tested by the 6, 7, and 8 hitters for Mississippi State, who have been a handful today for Arkansas pitchers. Logan Kohler will start it off. Two and 0. Dropped into center field for a base hit, so Kohler puts the barrel on the ball for a leadoff single. And again, the pitching for Arkansas has struggled here today, but it's struggled series-wide at this point, Todd. I mean, this is one of the best pitching staffs in all of college baseball, but Mississippi State has been ready for them.
So what you know up to this point is they're talented. So not necessarily, they're not going to come in and week out and dominate. You just know they've got the talent. They've got to put it together when it matters, which really is at the end. And they've got a ton of parts in that bullpen. The starters we've already talked about. But for Arkansas, I mean, they really have it. Now, today the fastball's been predictable. Mississippi State's a great fastball hitting team. That guy right there, Hagen Smith, even if you think a fastball's coming, you still can't hit it. But for most guys, when the fastball's coming, you can turn it around. And Arkansas over the last 2 days has just been predictable, and they've been wild and walking guys. And when that happens, the walks are one thing, but the other thing is when you're that erratic is you're getting behind in counts, and you have to throw the fastball, and that's when it gets ripped around the ballpark.
1-1 to Downs. Could be a double play ball. 1 and 2.
Pretty textbook. From Aloy to Stovall over to McLaughlin. The ball dictates the double play, and when it's hit hard enough, you can take your time. Stovall with the left foot. The pivot over to first base. Again, you're looking at one of the best defensive teams in the country as well in Arkansas.
That'll bring up Ethan Pulliam, who is having a standout day in his young career. He commits 0-1. He already has 4 RBIs in this game, a homer and a double, of course, a 3-run shot back in the second. And that pushed the score out to a 4-0 lead for Mississippi State. And here's a player in Pulliam who has 4 RBIs today coming into this game. He had 6 RBIs for the season.
Well, isn't it interesting, and I talked about it, I'm close to the LSU program, so the 2 freshmen they have, Ashton Larson, and Milam at second base, but it's interesting to me, these freshmen, you go 8 weeks in the fall, and you come all the way to this point, and these kids emerge, especially the young kids, and it's just crazy how, you can see a kid play, and you don't really know if he can help you or not until they get in there and they make it happen themselves. And Pulliam is going to be a really good one for Mississippi State, but it's awesome to see freshmen that can step into this league and play, because you're talking about transfer portal in 2020 still in play where everybody got their year back. You got 6-year seniors still on clubs. It's not like it was 20, 30 years ago where it was easier, I thought, to get on the field as a freshman. So to see these young kids get on and do well in the toughest conference in the country is impressive.
And it's an older league. I mean, as you said, because of the transfer portal, and that makes it very tough for freshmen to get on the field, and Pulliam has been able to do it.
Oh, my goodness.
And he's got another hit, and he may have another double as this rolls all the way to the wall. Pulliam will head to second base. And how about Ethan Pulliam? 3 hits, including a homer and now 2 doubles.
Have a day, kid. And I love watching hitters go the other way, especially after they've just hit a home run. The home run feels too good when you get the barrel out and you pull it, so you want to do it again, and it causes a lot of hitters to spin out of control. He stays back on a 3-2 pitch and rips it the opposite way. That is a very difficult thing to do, especially with the day that he's already had with the pulls down the left field line. Now he goes to right center and gets another base hit.
Powell takes a ball on the first pitch. 1-0. Pulliam, he's got some pretty good athletic bloodline in the family. One of his cousins, A.J. Brown of the Philadelphia Eagles. 2-0.
And to finish the point on the older league that you were talking in the SEC, the draft's only 20 rounds now. When I played, it was 100 rounds. I mean, they drafted Charlie Ward out of Florida State. He didn't play baseball. So, I mean, with the draft being less, you got 22nd round picks, or would be, that are still in college because they don't get drafted, and it makes a difference.
Powell gives this one a ride, and that is just foul. That had some juice out to right field, but it carried wide of the pole.
And what you'll see with better hitting teams, Derek, is they use the other side of the field. They're not trying to pull it all the time. And you see with Mississippi State, with Jake Gotro as the hitting coach, they use the other side of the field a lot. And that's how you're going to be consistent, and that's how you're going to hit for a higher average. And in most cases, when I came to the plate, I eliminated the pull side. I went up the middle the other way until you got, we used to call it an inkling, but you got an idea that they may throw a fastball middle in. That's 2-0, 3-1, 1-0 offensive counts. But most of the time, you lived up the middle the other way.
Good play made by Sprague Lott on the bounce. And Mississippi State is retired in the top of the 5th, but they still lead.
Could I get a large pepperoni pizza for delivery? Please hold.
If pizza worked like this, you wouldn't like pizza. But this is pretty much what happens to your money whenever you spend it or send it. It's a complicated system full of middlemen and fees, and everyone's taking a bite. We deserve a better system. Easier, simpler, faster. That's how crypto works.
Right now, you can get a free footlong at Subway. Just buy any footlong in the app and get 1 free. Like the Titan Turkey, piled high with fresh sliced turkey, or the Outlaw with juicy steak and melted pepper jack cheese. Just scan the QR code and enter promo code FLBOGO.
Oh, I'm all over this deal.
It only works on the other side of the screen, buddy.
Chuck, you still got a landline in your house.
Here, just take my free sub. Order now on the Subway app.
Summer's here, and with a new Toyota, you can start it with a splash. Hi. With a play date at a park. Or at a party with friends. or at an epic water balloon fight.
Gotcha!
Right now, qualified lessees can lease a rugged new 2024 Tundra SR5 for $449 a month for 36 months. Offer ends June 3rd.
Your summer starts here.
Toyota, let's go places.
The excitement that surrounds this tournament, the best conference tournament in all of college baseball.
Save me, so my bones have been aching.
Oh, he tattoos it!
Time to make a stand.
Man, I'm all jacked up. Let's get to Hoover.
Looming, the SEC tournament and the road to Hoover coming up soon with Mississippi State leading Arkansas here 6-1. Derek Jones and Todd Walker with you as we go to the bottom of the 5th inning. As we get a look at the standings in the SEC, Arkansas leading the West, 2-game lead over Texas A&M. Mississippi State in the 3 spot there in the West. Then out in the East, Kentucky and Tennessee enter today tied for first, but Kentucky with the win over Florida to grab the half-game lead for the moment. Todd, what do you see there when you take a look at the standings?
Well, Kentucky's been able to hold it together. They went through a little period of time like we're seeing Arkansas this weekend where they struggled for a few weeks, but Kentucky offense 1 through 9, very unselfish. Least amount of strikeouts in the league, most stolen bases. The on-base percentage is best in the league. Kentucky's very good. Mason Moore, who's their 3rd starter, is actually their best. So they've got a lot of production out of Poozer, their first guy. And Nyman has struggled lately, but, you know, he's got a lot of talent. The bullpen's been good. And under Nick Mingione, like we talked about with Dave Van Horn, kids just seem to respond and have a good time. And how could you not when you've won 20 games in the league? You're dancing in the dugout, and you got hats and party favors everywhere, and that's Kentucky.
You'll be hard-pressed to find a team having more fun right now than Kentucky in the dugout.
And that's the example when we talk about hosting a super regional. Kentucky had a good team last year, but they had to go to Baton Rouge with Paul Skeens and Ty Floyd and that group last year, so they didn't make it to Omaha. So that's why it's so important to be able to host the super, and Kentucky and Arkansas are in that position to be a top 8.
Carson Ligon, the new pitcher for Mississippi State, replacing Pico Khan, and Diggs taking a massive cut there and a 3-1 pitch. Now the count full. And Diggs draws the leadoff walk.
Well, you certainly don't want to be walking people up by 5, but Carson Ligon, the junior, is a little unusual. He's got the 3-pitch mix with the changeup, fastball, and the slider, which he uses all equally, and his primary pitch is actually his changeup. And so he can kind of dance around the zone. You don't know what's coming. Even in hitters' counts, you're not necessarily going to get a fastball, and he can land all 3 for strikes.
First appearance for Ligon since May 5th against Alabama, as Jason Jones takes a breaking ball for a called strike, 0-1. Count even at 1 ball and 1 strike as Diggs on base at first after the walk. And we'll see if they can put him in scoring position. Jones 0 for 1 on the day with a strikeout. Hits this one well out towards left field, going back to the wall. It's gone. Jason Jones with a 2-run shot. His 4th of the season, and Arkansas draws closer. It's a 6-3 game.
That's what Arkansas has been looking for. Down by 5, and of course when you walk guys, you're asking for trouble, and they walk the leadoff hitter to get to the 9-0, Jason Jones. And we've seen a lot of home runs today by unlikely players, and Jason Jones gives Arkansas a huge lift here in the 5th with a 2-run homer.
And that flips it to the top of the order. So Peyton Holt, 1 for 2 on the day. And he's ahead here, 2-0.
That's a good take. You're ahead 2-0. You don't want to make a silly out. You got all the momentum in this inning with 2 runs already in. Make him throw another one.
Holt tried to check his swing there. And got a piece of it. It's 2 balls and 2 strikes. Off speed, staying alive there. Count still at 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Yeah, the home run by Jason Jones. That wasn't a bad pitch either. Low and away. You talk about plate coverage for the 9-hole hitter. Gets the barrel out over the plate, lifts it to left field, and puts a charge into the Arkansas offense.
Another breaking ball, fouled away again.
Yeah, Peyton Holt's in straight pull mode right now. That's why you see him unbalanced and trying to pull that outside pitch. And you know you're not going to get really anything straight from Carson Ligon, so you have to stay back. With 2-2, you got to get by 1 pitch, and then you got a 3-2 offensive count. But this is the pitch you got to get through.
Full count.
Now you've put yourself in position to get what you're looking for. Now again, Liggins throws the curveball and the change just as much as the fastball.
Ground ball, just foul. We'll do it again at 3-2.
And that's a tough pitch to execute, because if you throw a non-competitive curveball for ball 4, it just looks silly. On a 3-2 count when it's supposed to be a fastball, but he landed it in a good spot. Now it puts a little doubt in Holt's mind what's coming next.
Out towards center field. Jordan can't make the catch. It gets away. Holt ends up at second base and poses back to the dugout. And he is in scoring position here in the bottom of the 5th, and the Razorbacks are making some noise.
The wind is blowing right to left, and so when that ball is hitting the right center gap, it's coming down quick. Dakota Jordan makes a run at it, thinks he's got a beat on it, and it's just diving quick, and he just lost sight of it right when he was going to catch the baseball. Nice backup job by Downs just to be there to keep him from going to third, but Peyton Holt gets all the way into second. Arkansas is still with no outs, and the top of the order.
Ground ball by Stovall. That'll push Holt to third base. And Stovall able to get the runner along to third with 1 out.
That was always tough for me. I was a left-handed hitter too. So now you got to decide, do I do my job and put it to the right side, get the runner to third with less than 2 outs, and make Sprague Lott's job a lot easier to put it in the outfield? Or do I go after the base hit and Peyton Stovall unselfishly just hits it to the right side and does his job?
By the way, that play was officially scored a hit by Holt, ruled a double, despite Jordan having a chance to make the play. Tough play. Third base, and the throw is in time from Kohler to Hines, but Holt is in. It's a 6-4 game.
Now credit that Peyton Stovall getting him over to third. Jared Sprague Lott just puts it in play. Peyton Holt with the double And Arkansas with 2 outs now comes within 2.
Malloy looks at a breaking ball in the first pitch. And you've got to go back a little bit to that at bat by Holt, who really worked and was able to get on with the double off of Ligon and ends up scoring to make it a 2-run game. So after leading 6-0, Mississippi State's lead has been cut to 2.
Yeah, that's a good point. It's very difficult to be patient when you got a lot going on in an inning. And Peyton Holt gets up there, 8-pitch at bat, very patient, and then goes the other way for the double. And that set it up for an extra run for Arkansas.
Ground ball again, foul.
I always thought the deeper I went in counts as a hitter, the better hitter I was going to be. Your timing's there. You've seen what the pitcher has. You know, you got a muscle memory of what it looks like. Too oftentimes you see hitters go in there and want to get out of the box quickly, but clearly it's easier said than done. You got to have some sort of 2-strike approach and not being afraid to swing with 2 strikes. If you can do that, then you get deeper in counts. You've got an advantage as a hitter.
Malloy pops this one in the air, but an easy play for Kohler to end the 5th inning. But Todd, the bats coming up big for Arkansas.
But Jason Jones out of the 9-hole, only his 17th start, reaches out and grabs that one to left field, and Arkansas pulls within 2.
Hey, it's me, your future you. You made some bad money moves.
Now we're totally screwed.
Didn't fund your IRA.
Thought NFTs were a better play.
Now you still work at 103.
Your boss hasn't hit puberty.
Who's ready for their performance review?
Don't make your future you hate you.
Start making smarter financial decisions today. NerdWallet. Finance smarter.
It's $10 Tuesdays at KFC. Every Tuesday, grab 8 pieces of hot, juicy Kentucky Fried Chicken for just $10. Son of a bucket, that's a good deal. Get a taste of $10 Tuesday, only at KFC.
The Hyundai Ioniq 5 won the World Car of the Year in 2022. Now the Hyundai Ioniq 6 just won World Car of the Year for 2023. Just consider it a sibling rivalry. World Car of the Year, 2 years in a row.
You've earned this, so hold it up high. It's your job to stock the city, restaurants and rooftops, bars and basements. Every corner store. And when it gets tough, you stay driven. Give it all you got, going nonstop for 20 stops. Because at the end of the day, every single round is on you. You are a fighter, and this is your reward. Modelo, the mark of a fighter.
The Hog Pen trying to get the Razorbacks back into this game, and they've been able to cut it to a 2-run game. 6-4. Derek Jones and Todd Walker with you. It's been a crooked score kind of game with Mississippi State with 5 in the second, but 3 picked up by Arkansas in the bottom of the 5th. As we see another new pitcher in the game, this time for Arkansas, Will McIntyre heads in, Todd.
This guy's been the difference as to why Arkansas has pitched it so well and the bullpen's been so good. Will McIntyre gave up 20, count it, 20 home runs last year. He's only given up 2 this year, and it's because that cutter has been way more effective, which means it's kind of moving away from right-handed barrels. And when last year the fastball was flat and predictable, this year has been able to land some off speed and getting ahead of guys, and that cutter has been the difference.
Top of the order here for the Bulldogs in the 6th. That breaking pitch just missing. Todd, is a hitter, how much did you know from a scouting report perspective which guys were really susceptible to the long ball?
Well, I looked at the stat sheet. You know, back in college for us, we didn't have video. And so I'd look at a stat sheet. If a guy had more strikeouts than innings pitched, I knew I probably need to go earlier in the count. If he had 60 innings pitched and 30 strikeouts, I knew I could be patient and wait a while. But, you know, with Will McIntyre last year, if you looked at the stat sheet and gave up a lot of home runs, then you knew the fastball was pretty straight, and he'd throw it in offensive counts. And this year he's been a lot better with that. And the cutter, again, moving away from the barrel of the right-handers and into the barrel of the lefties or into the hands, he's just been more effective. And clearly, as you've always heard for pitchers, what's the most important pitch a pitcher can throw? That's strike one. And Will McIntyre has gotten ahead of a lot of hitters where he's not in those offensive counts as much, and he's been able to have some options with what to throw and bury guys.
After the single by Chance, Mershon will put down a bunt. Good one. Nice play made over to first to McLaughlin to get Mershon on a good bunt that moves Chance over to second base in scoring position.
Phenomenal footwork at first base for McLaughlin. We saw LSU lose a baseball game against Alabama on night one for this almost similar play. Look at McLaughlin move his feet to the foul territory. Clearly you're going to give the thrower a path to throw it, but when it's offline and into the runner, that's kind of hard to do because you don't want to get ran over. McLaughlin uses his feet, puts his right foot on the bag, and moves to where the baseball is thrown, makes the play.
If your feet don't move there, can that throw get away from you?
Well, again, go rewatch the end of the LSU-Alabama game on the first night. You know, the throw was exactly the same way, and Jared Jones was in the right spot to make the play, but when the ball has some tail on it to the outside, Jared made a lunge and a lean toward it instead of moving his feet. And again, that play happens quick. I played first base, and I missed a ton of those. But if you're focused on your footwork and just what McLaughlin did right there, then it makes the play a lot easier.
Tight end to Jordan, 2-1. Jordan got hit by a pitch in his last at bat. Now 3-1. Breaking ball, hit out towards center field in Peyton Holt territory. Makes the catch. The throw over to third. He got a good arm into it, but Chance able to get to third base, and he is slow to get to his feet. He appears to be okay. Went into the bag a little awkwardly. But
yeah,
he's
you better
at third
make sure
base.
you can get it. Yeah, you better make sure you can get to third. They're going to intentionally walk one of the best home run hitters, active home run hitters in the league, Hunter Hines. But yeah, you certainly don't want to make the first or the third out at third base. You got to make sure you can almost walk in that situation. So Bryce Chance sees the ball in the center field. He goes back to tag, puts himself in a position to see it with the right foot. Let's see if we can see anything here. I mean, unless he hit his right knee on the bag. I don't know.
That'll set up shop for Amani Larry. So they walk Hunter Hines to get to Larry, who is looking for his first hit today. Larry walked back in the second and scored a run as a part of that monster 5-run inning. 1-1. Chance getting a lead over at third base. Runners at the corners with 2 down. Fouled away, 1-2.
And this is why you hear a lot about protection in the lineup. So for Charlie Condon at Georgia, he's not doing what he's doing without a guy behind him. Otherwise, you'd walk him every time. And Amani Larry can handle the bat for sure, but you need somebody big behind the big guy so they just can't walk you.
Got him. Big strikeout for McIntyre to prevent any damage here in the 6th. Razorbacks down by 2.
With no fees or minimums and no overdraft fees, banking with Capital One is the easiest decision in the history of decisions. Even easier than this.
We need a clutch hit. Derek. Derek Jeter.
Hang in there, rookie.
Yep, even easier than that. With no fees or minimums and no overdraft fees, is it even a decision? That's banking reimagined. What's in your wallet?
Best food spicy. Every squeeze of rich creaminess is deliciously spicy, with a kick of real chili peppers. Mmm, irresistible. Best foods spicy.
What's the score of the game?
The new Hyundai Elantra with America's best warranty. There's joy in every journey. Now get $1,500 bonus cash on the Elantra or pay only $250 a month after down payment. Visit your Crane Hyundai dealer today.
The tremendous support system for Arkansas players, their mothers. Here's a part of Mother's Day, and what a job that the moms do on a day in and day out basis for baseball players all over the country. And a tip of the cap, by the way, to the Arkansas social media team. When they released their lineups today, instead of the players' names, they had the mom's name of every player, which was kind of cool to see. Arkansas trailing 6-4 to Mississippi State in the rubber game of this 3-game set. Derek Jones and Todd Walker with you as another pitching change, this time on the side of Mississippi State, as Gavin Black makes his way into the game for the Bulldogs.
Yeah, numbers are not great for Gavin Black. ERA is north of 6. Only 8 innings on the year, so he's going to be a spot starter here in this, or spot reliever here in this inning. Hopefully get 3 outs for him and move the line along. But right-hander's got a little giddy up on his fastball with the slider.
95 miles per hour there, a little wild, 1-0. If you're just joining us, Mississippi State was up 6-0 at one point. Arkansas with 3 in the 5th, including a 2-run homer by Jason Jones, has helped cut this down to a 6-4 ball game. 3-0. And a leadoff 4-pitch walk drawn by Ben McLaughlin to start the bottom of the 6th inning.
Mississippi State did this exact same thing in the last inning, cost them 3 runs. Walked the leadoff guy, and again, it's never good, but when you have a lead, throw it right down the middle, let him hit as far as he can hit it. But instead, they dance around the zone, leadoff walk to Ben McLaughlin, the 5-hole.
And that'll bring up the game-tying run in the form of Ryder Helfrich. Little chicken dance in Baum Walker Stadium. Fans having a great time. One of the best settings in college baseball to watch a game. Helfrich. This one scoots away, but not far enough for McLaughlin to advance.
Well, when you're down, you want to basically go station to station. Can't make any silly moves on the bags, but you got to be ready for a pass ball there. McLaughlin certainly could have gone into second. Just you got to be ready right away or it doesn't happen.
There's a strike. So after 5 straight balls, Black finds the plate 1-1.
Well, the slider's his main pitch. He likes the slider more than the fastball. So anytime a hitter gets in a predictable fastball count, you're going to get the slider.
And a off-speed offering there to make it 1-2. Off the plate again. 2 balls and 2 strikes. So Powell getting a little bit of a workout here in the last few pitches.
Now this is
3
where
balls and 2
Arkansas may decide to put the runner in motion. If you think the hitter's not going to swing through it and strike out, put him in motion, stay out of the double play. You got to trust the hitter, though.
Full count pitch fouled away.
That's up and tight right here. Look at that load. I mean, a lot going on right there to still make contact with the ball inside. We already saw Helfrich pull that barrel in and hit the ball down the left field line, so we know he's capable of getting tight on an inside pitch.
Got him. What a pitch there by Black. 1 down.
Excellent. That's why it's always important as a pitcher to have confidence in your off speed, because you can throw it in a count where the hitter is looking fastball, and that's dirty. Right inside the hands, low and in. Perfect.
Hudson White takes a cut, can't catch up with it. 0-1. Hits this one sharply out towards the right field area, but foul. And he's in the hole here, 0-2. You see the difference with runners on today. It's been tough for Arkansas. Just 2 of 13. Hit well out to left. Tie game. Hudson White, who came up huge for Arkansas on Friday, comes up with another clutch hit, a game-tying 2-run home run, and Arkansas has evened this game up.
This is what Dave Van Horn was telling us about. I know that this offense has more potential than what we've shown. They come back down 6-0 in Game 3 of this series, and they tie it up at 6 with Hudson White out of the 7 hole with a 2-run shot. And now you're seeing a little life out of an offense that's the last remaining piece of a team that's just dynamic in Arkansas.
Todd, we were talking earlier about the numbers of this offense for Arkansas. You talked about coming up big in key spots, that ultimately being the difference for teams as far as how far they go. When you see something like that, that has to give you a lot of confidence from the Arkansas perspective.
And that's all hitting is confidence. And it carries from one hitter to the next. That's why, again, the term hitting's contagious is a real thing, because you start to gain confidence even if the guy in front of you got the base hit. But in this case, Mississippi State has put the leadoff runner on in the last 3 innings. You're going to get beat up if you do that. The hit by pitch in the 4th, the walk to start to Kendall Diggs in the 5th, and now the walk to start this inning in McLaughlin. You start putting leadoff hitters on free passes, and in this league, you can't get away with it.
White hiding behind his teammates there as he puts his gear back on, getting set for the top of the 7th inning. That one just missing to Diggs. That runs the count full at 3 balls and 2 strikes. That home run from White, the 3rd home run of the season allowed by Black. And it's a crucial one to tie the game at 6. Fouled away.
How about the home runs in this game? 2 by Mississippi State were the first of the year by those kids. And then for Arkansas, for Hudson White, his 4th. And Jason Jones, his 4th. So not big bashers traditionally. And this is what we were talking about timely hits. You don't have to have the big gaudy numbers. You just do it in the right spots.
Belt high fastball gets Diggs.
Let's take a look at Hudson White. Again, for Gavin Black, just leaves it out over the plate a little too much, right into that barrel. And when they talk about launch angle, look at that. Nowhere for that ball to go with the perfect timing except out of the ballpark. Hudson White ties this game up. You think Wirtis is fired up? Look at him. And if Arkansas can put this together in this stretch, meaning put the offense along with what we already know about the pitching and the defense, then they can make a deep run.
A pitching change for Mississippi State. We will tell you about it when we return. It's a tie game.
What's wrong?
My travel rewards card didn't earn enough miles for my vacation.
Are you crying?
No.
Are you crying because of that other card?
No.
There's no crying in baseball. Or with the Capital One Venture Card, because it lets you earn unlimited double miles on every purchase every day. And you can use those miles on any travel purchase. And you know why? There's no crying with the Venture Card. What's in your wallet? Let's play ball!
Gatorade Fit. Vitamin-packed hydration with no artificial sweeteners, flavors, or added sugar. Hydration for every athlete, forever.
Sorry, party's canceled. Waiting on the cable internet guy.
First, I had cable, but those cords weren't me.
So he switched to T-Mobile home internet with 5G. What a feeling! I have Wi-Fi now. I need home internet from T-Mobile to fulfill my life.
Get home internet from T-Mobile now, just $50 a month.
In 2022, the all-electric Hyundai Ioniq 5 won the award for World Car of the Year. So, of course, the all-electric Hyundai Ioniq 6 just had to go out and win World Car of the Year for 2023. Because everyone knows how competitive sibling rivalries can be. World Car of the Year, 2 years in a row.
The Razorbacks have come all the way back thanks to that man, Hudson White. 2-run blast over the left field wall has tied this game up at 6, and that has led to a pitching change for Mississippi State, as we will see another different righty. This time it's Cam Schulke, Todd.
Schulke, the junior, 195 pounds from Michigan. Fastball slider predominantly fastball slider. He's got the change up in the curveball. He can mix a knuckleball in there, but those about 70% strikes with that fastball. So he's coming after you. Numbers are pretty good. 4 Got the 19 walks in 36 innings. That's not too bad. 3 wins on the year. The 29th appearance for Cam Schuelke from the low side.
Schuelke got the win in the game last night for Mississippi State. Back on the bump. How much of a challenge is it to pick up kind of that sidearm action?
I was a left-handed hitter. I thought it was easier because you can see his arm from the minute he releases from his glove. But for a righty, it's tough. I mean, you get your reaction time's a lot less, and the ball's moving everywhere. There's no straight pitch that Schuelke throws, so it's sinking into your hands, and then the slider complements that, moving away from the barrel.
Two and two to Jason Jones. Now, Jones had one of the more important hits in this game. A 2-run homer cut the lead in half to make it 6-3 back in the 5th. 3-2. Jones stays alive.
See how much movement is in that ball. That's why you move that arm angle down, is because the more you go down, the more up and down movement that fastball is going to have. A lot of sink action. Of course, I tore my rotator doing that in high school, but that's a different story.
Oh, you were a sidewinder like this?
Oh yeah, oh yeah. Anything to get them out, man.
Inside and tight to Jones. It's a 2-out walk. That will bring up the dangerous
guys. You start asking for a little bit of problems here. Walks the 9 hole to turn the lineup over to Peyton Holt.
On the move, Jones is safe.
Yeah. And that's something Pulliam's going to learn too. If he keeps the tag on him, he's out. But he jumped up immediately, and he was safe and didn't look.
The safe call at second base is under review. Mississippi State is challenging the play.
Left hand's in there. Scott Klein's all over it, second base umpire, but he comes off the bag. And so as a second baseman, you hold that tag the whole way through, especially if you know that that dirt's going to be fast and those runners are going to slide off. Pulliam thought he got him and gave up on the play.
You're right there, because it looks like he's turning to react to the call instead of sticking that glove on Jones.
On fast dirt or on turf, when it's rained a little bit and it's wet, you know, guys will slide all the way into the left field bullpen sometimes. And so, you know, as an infielder, just to keep that tag on him the whole way through, doesn't do any damage to just hold it. But Pulliam, the freshman, thinks he got him, which what I'm looking at, he did not, but he would have gotten him.
After review, the safe call at second base is confirmed. Mississippi State still has one challenge remaining for the game.
And a good risk for Arkansas there. With 2 outs, just what we talked about earlier. You don't mind Peyton Holt leading off. He's your leadoff hitter anyway, so it's worth the risk to try to steal second base with 2 outs, get a guy in scoring position.
Third stolen base for Jones. Holt looks at the first pitch, 1-0, and now it circles back to a trouble spot for Arkansas. Runners in scoring position and hitting in those spots. 0 for 6 so far today.
That ball's hammered.
Annihilates that baseball to left. Arkansas on top.
Well, it appears that Dave Van Horn was right. There is some potential in this offense. 3 home runs in the last 3 innings, 3 free passes to start the last 3 innings. And Arkansas has pinned 8 on Mississippi State, and this game's not over yet.
Holt, one of the leaders of this team. He saw a pitch that he liked and absolutely smoked that ball.
Yeah, that ball was what's another adjective we haven't used yet? That was a home run. That ball was smashed. And it surprised me with Peyton Holt. I mean, that is a strong kid. That's only his 4th home run of the year too. And I think you're going to start to see, as this season goes on, that the power numbers that haven't necessarily been there for Arkansas is going to start showing up.
And Stovall flies out to Chance to conclude the inning, but Arkansas takes the lead, Todd.
Peyton Holt gets a ball he can handle down and in and puts it out and over left field, and Arkansas is electric here in the 6th.
Excuse me, would you mind taking a picture of us?
Oh, no problem.
Thanks.
Ooh, yes, problem. You need Verizon. Get the new iPhone 15 Pro with tons of storage, so you can take all the pics.
Trade in any iPhone in any condition and get iPhone 15 Pro on us. Only on Verizon.
Could I get a large pepperoni pizza for delivery? Please hold.
If pizza worked like this, you wouldn't like pizza. But this is pretty much what happens to your money whenever you spend it or send it. It's a complicated system full of middlemen and fees, and everyone's taking a bite. We deserve a better system. Easier, simpler, faster. That's how crypto works.
Hey man, do you have a non-alcoholic beer that actually tastes good?
I think you mean athletic.
Excuse me? Do you have that great non-alcoholic beer?
I'll 7.
Found it.
Do you have a favorite non-alcoholic beer on the menu?
Ah. Athletic it is.
She's funny.
Right now, you can get a free footlong at Subway. Just buy any footlong in the app and get 1 free. Like the Titan Turkey, piled high with fresh sliced turkey, or the Outlaw with juicy steak and melted pepper jack cheese. Just scan the QR code and enter promo code FLBOGO.
Oh, I'm all over this deal.
It only works on the other side of the screen, buddy.
Chuck, you still got a landline in your house.
Here, just take my free sub. Order now on the Subway app.
It's been a different last few innings for this Arkansas offense. They struggled through the first 3 innings, just 2 hits. And since that time, 8 runs off of 5 hits, including the game-tying homer by Hudson White, and then the 2-run shot to give Arkansas the lead from Peyton Holt. And now, all of a sudden, after leading 6-0, Mississippi State is down 8-6.
And it's Will McIntyre's job now to throw strikes. That's something Mississippi State was not able to do when they had the lead. Now Arkansas has the lead. And for Will McIntyre now, it's just not giving free passes away and getting ahead in counts.
And if you're Mississippi State, you look at kind of how that, going back to the graphic we just saw, those first 3 innings, that's when they were able to accumulate that 6-0 lead. And since that time, they have not been able to do a whole lot offensively since jumping out to that big lead.
And like you pointed out, it was all the bottom half of the lineup. The top half for Mississippi State really hasn't done anything, and those are the studs. Dakota Jordan, Bryce Chance, Mershon can handle the bat, but it's all been the bottom of the order for Mississippi State in the first 3 innings that scored all their runs.
So how about now Arkansas? You look at their last 2 days. 1 for 16 with runners in scoring position. The one was a big one with the 2-run shot by Holt to give Arkansas the lead.
Just keeps coming back to, again, you don't have to have the gaudy offensive numbers. I mean, since 1999, every national champion, there is one common denominator. They can pitch it. And the defense is easier when you got guys that can throw it on the mound. But offense is erratic. I mean, you've got teams that have won it all with not strong offensive numbers. And, it comes and goes. And when you get to Omaha, it's going to be low-scoring games anyway. It's a big ballpark. And it's just getting hits at the right time.
Logan Kohler facing a full count pitch from Will McIntyre. Playable for Stovall, makes a catch. Coming up next, we cap our triple header with third-ranked Texas A&M taking on Ole Miss in Oxford. And what a series that has been so far for Ole Miss, giving Texas A&M a lot of problems. Dave Neal and Ben McDonald with the call coming up following this game. Downs 2 for 3 on the day with a single and a run-scoring double. 1-1. Breaking ball, hit third base side, but foul. Todd, going back to your point about pitching, especially in order to get to Omaha, it's interesting. You look at LSU last year. Paul Skeens did not throw a pitch in that best of 3 against Florida. It was the other guys who were able to step up and really make things happen.
And he really didn't have to. 2 of those scores were football scores. I mean, it was way out of hand, and LSU had barely won game 1. So, but he got him there, right? I mean,
right.
And you have to have that stud, that world beater, and you have to have the number 2. I feel like Arkansas has it. Brady Tiger just hasn't pitched well, but he's capable. But that guy right there can beat anybody. And, Oregon State in 6 innings, he strikes out 17 of 18. One dude put it in play and got it made out. I mean, that's not, that's not normal. And so that's why I think Arkansas has the advantage over everybody else we talk about in the conversation of being the number 1 team in the country. That guy right there, Hagen Smith.
Yep. They have the big gun, and you're right. Skeens was so pivotal for LSU last year. And if you're able to add to that depth, you can go to a lot of great places throughout the course of the season, as that walk is picked up by Downs. And we get a look at what Smith has done in program history. He's having an all-time year this year in Arkansas history on the mound.
Yeah, and we knew that. Hagen Smith's going to be the all-time strikeout leader in Arkansas. But, when you compare him to Paul Skeens from last year, it's eerily similar. They both, the numbers are similar. Although Hagen Smith's a left-hander, so I would argue that, if you had to pick between those two, I got to give the nod to the lefty. Holds runners better, neutralizes left-handed bats.
Pulliam is finally retired by Arkansas as we get a look at the difference between Skeens and Smith from year to year. Skeens last year versus Smith this year.
Yeah, now that all that's left now is to just do it at the end. Paul Skeens got it done last year in the postseason. Just was unbelievable. And Hagen Smith has the ability. That's what you're looking at right there, the talent that's better than anybody else in the country. But then you got to get it done. That's a lot of pressure, but that's why you get paid a lot of money too. I think Skeens, he get $10 million for first pick in the draft last year, and that's where this guy's headed. And that's a lot of fun when you come out of college, where I was eating McDonald's 3 times a day, with no money, and I was drafted first. All of a sudden thought, man, I've walked into another universe, man. This is fantastic.
You can mix in some steak with that.
Yeah.
Powell with a home run today. 1 for 3. That's 2-1.
Yeah, McIntyre's full count on leadoff hitter, ends up getting him on the 3-2, and then walks Downs, and now falling behind Pulliam as well. That looked like a strike. That's presentation by White. He needs to hold it there, and he shifted a little bit and fooled the umpire, I think, on that one.
An advantage for Powell. The catching counterpart for White. Heading to second base, and
they walked him.
Right, that's the thing. He may have been out, but it doesn't matter if that was ball 4.
And oh, by the way, that pitch was close too. That's why White let it rip, because they're going to argue that should have been strike 2. And they're arguing, and he is out, of course, but it's a walk. So I don't know.
Well, now they will make the call that he's out. Well, what an interesting sequence that was. As Downs is thrown out to conclude the inning. We'll talk about it when we come back. Arkansas up 2.
I'll do whatever it takes to protect my family. And part of taking care of them is using a bank that takes care of us. That's why I use Centennial Bank, a strong institution for an uncertain economy. I know them and I trust them. They have a strong financial foundation, which means that my money and our future is never in doubt. Life is busy, and there's plenty of things to worry about. My bank isn't one of them.
Centennial Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Right now, you can get a free footlong at Subway. Just buy any footlong in the app and get 1 free. Like the Titan Turkey, piled high with fresh sliced turkey, or the Outlaw with juicy steak and melted pepper jack cheese. Just scan the QR code and enter promo code FLBOGO.
Oh, I'm all over this deal.
It only works on the other side of the screen, buddy.
Chuck, you still got a landline in your house.
Here, just take my free sub. Order now on the Subway app.
Bottom of the 7th, Arkansas leads Mississippi State 8-6. Derek Jones and Todd Walker with you. Todd, take us through the way that inning just ended.
Joe Powell walks. This is a three ball pitch right here, out of the zone, ball 4. Aaron Downs slides into second, is tagged initially, but it's a walk. But when he passes the bag right there and gets tagged, that's where he's out, because he gets second base on the walk. But then when he passes the bag right there and Stovall the wherewithal to tag him, he's out at that point right there. You can't pass second base even with the walk, and that's the 3rd out.
And we've seen that a couple of times now, by the way, where someone is heading towards second base and they slide past the bag on that surface.
It's a fast infield. Yeah, it's a fast infield, and that's what we were talking about earlier with Pulliam. You got to know as an infielder to keep the tag on. And Stovall almost made the same mistake. He looked at the umpire saying he got him, but he was able to get back and tag him.
So when Mississippi State heads back to the plate in the 8th, Powell will be up again.
No, he walked.
No, excuse me. He will not be up again. It will be Bryce Chance who will be.
Yes. Isn't it crazy? I mean, that I've never, I haven't seen that play before either. We've seen a few things today that have been really, really unusual.
Sprague-Lott hits this one out towards right field. It's got some carry. It's off the wall. Sprague-Lott will put the brakes on at second base. And he's got a leadoff double for the Razorbacks.
This is what Hog fans want to see in offense. And in Baum Stadium, traditionally over the years, that's what you've seen from the Arkansas Razorbacks. 8th hit and already 8 runs in for Arkansas. We're only in the 7th inning. Nice job of hitting by Sprague Lott. Down and just puts the barrel on it into right center. And that had backspin on it. He thought he had got it out of the ballpark, but hits the top of the wall. And it's a leadoff double for Arkansas.
This Mississippi State bullpen has been under fire since Pico Khan left the game. They have not been able to hold on to this lead that was once upon a time a 6-0 game. Aloy, ground ball over to third. It's a fair ball. The toss, long throw made by Kohler. Sprague Lott, smart base running, gets to third.
That's a strong throw and a strong play. Nice pick at first base by Hines. Kohler from the left foul line and gives him a nice hop. But again, that ball's skipping hard at Hines. That's a tough play to pick, and it's coming at you quicker than you think it is. He was able to hang on to it, gets the first out, but it does move the runner over to third with less than 2 outs.
So the situational hitting as of late for Arkansas has come up big here, as we saw Pico Khan a moment ago, who started out well, but the bullpen has not delivered here for Mississippi State. Another pitching change for the Bulldogs when we come back.
What's wrong?
My travel rewards card didn't earn enough miles for my vacation.
Are you crying?
No.
Are you crying because of that other card?
No.
There's no crying in baseball. Or with the Capital One Venture Card, because it lets you earn unlimited double miles on every purchase every day. And you can use those miles on any travel purchase. And you know why? There's no crying with the Venture Card. What's in your wallet? Let's play ball!
If it's been a minute since you've been to Panera, you might not want to wait a second longer. More new sandwiches and salads, more in every bite, and more new options under $10. Come taste the new era at Panera and get a $0 delivery fee for a limited time.
You've earned this, so hold it up high. This isn't a hobby, it's a lifestyle. You find diamonds in the rust. You put your own stamp on stock parts, turning metal into murals, and detailing every detail. Because it's the things you make that show what you're made of. You are a fighter, and this is your reward. Modelo, the mark of a fighter.
Mississippi State's bullpen has been in big trouble as of late in this game. They have given up the lead to Arkansas, and Todd, their bullpen has given up home runs, but they've also given up some walks too.
Yeah, the free passes kill. All 3 walks that they've given up have scored the run, and 2 of the 3 started the inning. They had a hit by pitch back in the 4th. 5 of the 7 innings, Arkansas has had the leadoff guy on base. And when you do that with no outs, you got a lot of time to play with, and Arkansas's taking advantage of that with the 8 runs.
And another pitching change for the Bulldogs. It'll be the righty Tyson Hardin, the junior, with a challenge here to try to keep this to a 2-run game.
Manipulates the heater with the fastball and then the cutter, the 4-seam and then the 2-seam. That's about 80% of the time. He'll mix in the slider and occasional changeup, but Tyson Hardin's been one of their best out of the bullpen.
So Hardin will face Ben McLaughlin with Jared Sprague Lott over at third. Swings at the first pitch. Gives us a ride out towards left field. Making the catch is Chance, but tagging and scoring is Sprague Lott. And it is a 9-6 lead for Arkansas off the sac fly RBI from McLaughlin.
And that's something you don't, or DVH does not like to hear, is when they call his offense opportunistic. Well, in that particular case, that was very opportunistic, getting the runner in from third. Just situational hitting that they've done. You need it, in addition to all the power and the lightning that you've seen out of Arkansas today. And they do that well, moving runners over, getting runners in. And if you can add the power to it, it's going to be special.
Pico Khan pitched well today. He went 4 innings, gave up 1 run, 3 hits struck out 4. And since he left, it's been all downhill as the out is recorded by Mershon to conclude the bottom of the 7th inning. Arkansas increases their lead. They're up by 3. Let's take a look at the most College World Series appearances without a championship victory, as Arkansas, North Carolina in the mix as well, and Arkansas trying to end that skid. How about their chances, Todd?
Yeah, I mean, again, it starts with Hagen Smith, the best in the country, and then you've got to find a 2 spot. Brady Tiger may be that guy. The bullpen's been fantastic for Arkansas. Not worried about the offense, and they're hard to beat at home. So if they can get home field advantage through Omaha and get to Omaha, clearly there's a luck factor involved too that you have to have when you get to Omaha. But they certainly have all the parts, Arkansas. And oh, by the way, the SEC West, that small little side of the conference with only 7 teams, have been the last 3 national championships in Mississippi State, Ole Miss, and LSU. So going off the history, it looks good for Arkansas.
New pitcher here for Arkansas, Gabe Gackle, the freshman. And again, going back to your point about pitching depth, the freshmen can often find their ways to have their impact on a season in different ways, and Gackle here trying to help out this pitching staff.
Yeah, he's in command of the fastball and the slider. Will drop the change on you deep in counts. But the main thing for Gackle is he throws strikes, and he's reliable when he comes out of the bullpen.
He's ahead here 0-2.
Good numbers. 2 ERA with 14 walks in 33 innings.
And Mershon puts this one into center field for a base hit.
Such a good 2-hole hitter for Mississippi State. David Mershon can do just about anything. We saw him lay down a perfect bunt back in the 6th inning. Had the base hit in the 1st, and hits the ball the other way. Can do just about everything. Plays great defense at shortstop. Only 1 error all year.
Now Dakota Jordan steps in. 96 miles per hour, missing the bat of Jordan. 0-1. By the way, Gackle is not allowed a home run. And this is a guy here who can put him over the wall for Mississippi State.
Well, he's got the heater, but, I mean, the slider is just as effective. I mean, opponent's only hitting 136 off Gackle. That means he's putting it exactly where he wants, and he's able to throw pitches that the hitters aren't expecting. Which
How about that
right
pitch?
there? Yeah. And, as a hitter, when you see a curveball and it's clearly different, you got to be in the box to know it. But there were some curveballs I saw I couldn't pick up the spin, and others you can. And clearly Gackle has that pitch that looks like a fastball going to be high, and it just drops in the zone. That's why you saw the freeze up by Jordan. And then right about the time you're looking for that off speed at like 80 miles an hour, he pumps 96 in on you.
He appeared in the game on Friday night against the Bulldogs. Breaking ball, could be 2. Instead, it's just one. They get Mershon, and Stovall couldn't transfer over to first. So they'll
Mississippi State is challenging the out call at second base. The previous play is under review.
That'll clearly be a transfer rule where he's out. But, you know, for Stovall, that's just a typical case of trying to be too quick. The ball dictates whether or not you can turn the double play. And I always tell these kids, you're quicker than you think you are if you just catch the ball and you make the transition and make an accurate throw. But right there, Stovall trying to be a little too quick. We saw him turn a nice one earlier in the game. And you see his head move before he even sees the ball and just comes out. But that's going to be an out at second for the transfer.
After review, the out call at second base is confirmed. Mississippi State is out of challenges for the game.
So that's important to note. Mississippi State out of challenges now. So Jordan at first base after Mershon cut down. Hines swings and misses.
And the reason velocity is important is because now all of a sudden you got to, I call it an educated guess, but you got to guess right. If the velocity is less, like if you throw 89 miles an hour at the higher levels, then I can sit on your off speed and react to your fastball. But when it's 96 and right there he's geared up for 96 and you drop 89 on him, you're going to swing through it like that. So when you see the fastball and it's got high velocity and you got to gear up for it, it makes you susceptible to all the off speed.
What a performance by Gackle to close out the top of the 8th inning.
Sorry, party's canceled. Waiting on the cable internet guy.
First, I had cable, but those cords weren't me.
So he switched to T-Mobile, home internet with 5G. What a feeling!
I have Wi-Fi now. I need home internet from T-Mobile to fulfill my life.
Get home internet from T-Mobile now, just $50 a month.
Do the two-step and cowboy boogie. Grab a sweetheart and spin out with them. Do the hold down and get into it.
You could start a farm in your apartment, or you could get fresh groceries delivered.
We have to move.
When you think work, you think boots. You think boots, you think ending the day with the same number of toes you started with. Because you're thinking heavy equipment. You think heavy equipment, you think construction. You think construction, you think welding, torching, and hammering without the smashing, puncturing, and scorching. Now you're thinking on your feet. And when you think feet, you're thinking boots. You think boots, you're thinking Ariat.
What a series for Hudson White for Arkansas. 5 for 11. Had the big performance on Friday and then a clutch game-tying 2-run homer here today to tie it up at 6. And he steps to the plate here, Todd. He's been just absolutely electric for the Razorbacks.
Well, characteristics of championship teams are talent, staying healthy, and another factor is getting stuff out of kids that you don't expect. Hudson White struggled earlier in the year, didn't play a lot, and now over this weekend he has really shown that he knows where that barrel is. Pulled his hands in on that base hit to left and ripped that home run back in the 6th inning.
Takes a called strike, 0-1. So White in the hole here, 0-2, 1 for 3 on the day. Reaches out for that pitch. And an easy play for Powell to start up the bottom of the 8th.
You think Hog fans are into it? I heard somebody all the way here in Shreveport, Louisiana, tell him to swing the bat 0-2 just coming off a home run. Swing it. That's funny.
You're as good as your last pitch in that case.
That's right. That's absolutely right. Up by 3, too. Fans ought to be happy here in Fayetteville.
Kendall Diggs steps in. 0 for 2. A couple of strikeouts, a walk, and has scored a run on the day. Two and one. And this is another kind of moving piece to this lineup that we talked about a little while ago with Diggs dealing with an injury. If they can get that bat going, that'll be another added element as he swings through that 93-mile-per-hour offering.
Yeah, and there's just no minor leagues in college baseball, so you have to just get thrown back in the fire and get after it. But it takes a while. Get your timing back and just get in the groove of playing baseball again. And Kendall Diggs clearly is capable of being a 300 hitter, but obviously so far the timing's off.
Third time he has struck out today. 2 down.
It just shows how hard hitting is, too. I mean, that's not a bad pitch by a hard right on the outside corner, but Kendall Diggs has been behind on the fastball and ahead of the off speed, so the timing has just been a little rough. And, again, when you're in pro ball, you can go to the minor leagues, work it out, and you come back up, you're ready to go. But here, you just got to get in that $1 million cage they have down the right field line and figure it out. But it's not the same as being in the heat of the moment in a baseball game, especially in the SEC.
Yeah, the league they're playing in is not helping matters either. Toughest in the nation. Ground ball over to Pulliam. He makes the throw in time to Hines to finish off the Razorbacks here in the 8th.
Nature knows best. That's why New Chapter Vitamins follows her example. Transforming nature's 4 billion years of wisdom into supplements with key vitamins, minerals, and herbs sourced from whole food ingredients, all crafted to work with your body. Bringing the power of nature into your new chapter.
Not you again. I can't talk to a doctor about this. It's embarrassing. ZocDoc? You're right. I bet they deal with this all the time. What about Dr. Anderson? Okay. Dr. Finley really puts you at ease. And she takes my insurance too. Let's do it.
You've got more options than you know. Book now.
I'm gonna miss you too.
Gonna do the 2-step and cowboy boogie. Grab a sweetheart and spin out with him. Do the hold down and get into it.
You could start a farm in your apartment, or you could get fresh groceries delivered.
We have to move.
One of the great home field advantages in college baseball. Baum Walker Stadium, the Razorbacks 32-3 on the season at home. You see the success, Todd, that they've had over the last handful of years in their building, and this is a opportunity for them to kind of further put their stamp on hosting.
And that's with 15 home games within the toughest conference in the country. So for Arkansas, I mean, that's an impressive number. And, again, why it's so important to host not only a regional but a super regional on the way to Omaha.
This will be their final game of the regular season at home, as Amani Larry takes a called strike with his team down by 3 runs here in the top of the 9th inning. Breaking ball. Hit towards Sprague Lott. Makes the throw. 1 down.
Nice little play by Sprague Lott at third base, coming in on the slow roller. The transfer and throw off balance. Kid can really play third. But for Gackle, this is his game. He's their closer. 6 saves on the year. And what I love about college baseball is it's not just the 9th inning. They bring him in the 7th, 8th, and 9th, you know, shorten games. And Gabe Gackle certainly can do that. And another element you need. Starting pitching, defense, bullpen, but especially that guy at the end that can close the door.
One and one to Logan Kohler. A couple of defensive changes for Arkansas. Peyton Holt slides over to left. Ty Wilmsmeyer is into the game out in center field. 1-1. Well off of that breaking ball. 1-2. There's Holt over out and left. Wilmsmeyer in center field. One, two. Just missing.
That's a tough take. Great pitch. Probably a few inches off the plate, but tough take by Kohler.
2-2 from Gackle. Got him. Blew it right by him.
Well, that's dirty. When you got the eyesight of the hitter looking outside, and especially when he thinks, and as a hitter, you think I should have swung at that. I got lucky. Now all of a sudden you're looking out over the plate, and he busts you middle in with that fastball at 95, 96 miles an hour. You just can't pull the trigger. I mean, that's a smart pitch by Gabe Gackle, up and in.
Downs takes one inside for a ball. 1-0. Line drive that is into left field for a base hit. So the Bulldogs are alive here in the 9th with a runner on.
Aaron Downs had a nice day. Double back in the 2nd, the base hit. 3 for 4 with a walk back in the 7th. And out of the 7 hole for Mississippi State. Again, we talked about the production at the bottom of this lineup, and that doesn't look good. That looks like a hamstring.
Grabbing the back of his leg.
Yeah, and for no apparent reason. And Downs might be down.
So Michael O'Brien into pinch run for Downs.
And that's
Ethan
not
Pulliam.
what Mississippi State needs, another injury.
Ethan Pulliam will step in. 3 for 4 on the day. And Todd, you're absolutely right. They've already had to deal with enough injuries on the pitching side. They don't need that to add to any issues offensively. Two and 0.
But you can see, again, as hot as Mississippi State came into Fayetteville, you can see getting potentially your best pitcher and your best hitter back, like next week, as soon as next week, how that changes the outlook of the entire season for Mississippi State, who's already doing really well.
O'Brien steals second base without a throw. And this is fouled away, 2-1. A little low. 3-1 on the way from Gackel. And that will bring the game-tying run to the plate.
We already saw what Joe Powell could do back in the second inning, the home run.
Powell's home run in that second inning was his first of the season. And here's a look at it.
Yeah, just center cut fastball. Timing was perfect. The load and the exchange put that ball out of left field. Powell, congratulations. First home run of the year. State was rolling at that point, up 6-0 in this game, and since then it's been all Arkansas.
FYI, Gackel has not allowed a home run this season. Jake Faraday getting loose in the pen for the Razorbacks. Beautiful breaking ball for a called strike, 0-1. Oh, and 2.
Yeah, 2 in a row. So important to be able to land your secondary pitches early in counts, because now as a hitter you just have no idea what's coming and you can't get full leverage on the swing.
The block from White there to keep the runners in check. Runners at first and second base, 2 down. One, 2. Gackel set. Called third strike, and the comeback for Arkansas is complete. They trailed 6-0 at one point, but they come back to win it 9-6. What a win, Todd.
Arkansas 33-3 at home. It's their 10th straight SEC weekend series win. That's 30 series wins for Dave Van Horn in the last 4 years. This Arkansas team has been dominant within the best conference that we know of in college baseball, and what a win for Arkansas.
The Razorbacks take 2 out of 3 in the series. A tremendous job done by Gabe Gackel, who gets the strikeout to finish off the Bulldogs in Fayetteville. Our final score is Arkansas 9, Mississippi State 6. For our entire crew, I'm Derek Jones. For Todd Walker saying so long, let's send you to Oxford for Texas A&M and Ole Miss with Dave Neal and Ben McDonald.